desert island, and I don't know who my OC is. And I keep hearing this. We're doing our due diligence. We're just going to pick the best guy available. Well, who's available? I mean, this is like, guys are dying off here. Who you picking next? Billy Bob Thornton. Sammy Minion. Who are these guys? The Clan, or what is it? Decadent? I have no idea. Jimmy Bob Cooter. Where in God's name are we going with this? Holy cow. Appreciate you coming aboard. Do me a favor. Please hit the like button. Super chats go to the top. How you doing? I first got to start off with, I want to show you guys something. And Big Sills is one of the great conspiracy guys in the history of conspiracy, right? So I'm going to throw this at you here, and I'm going to show you something. So let's take a look at Tom Brady. And let's go to the history. Why was Tom Brady ever suspended? Was Tom Brady suspended? Yes. Oh, no. So let me read this to you. And this goes into this Bill Belichick Hall of Fame scenario here. And I want you to follow along with me. Please hit that like button. We appreciate you being here. We got a ton of stuff coming up too, by the way. Any podcast or reporter that says, this big news is trading AJ, I have to block you. Cannot make trades this time of the year. Thank you. Nick is getting demoted, and I will praise the Lord heavenly, says my man Marsh. How you doing? Marsh, I don't believe it's that. Okay? I do not believe it's that. I don't believe it's anything to do with trading anybody. You can't trade anybody until March 11th. You're right. You can't make any player movement until March 11th. That's just Nimrods talking. They don't know what they're talking about. The new year doesn't start until after the Super Bowl. Everybody knows this. Anybody with a brain knows this. Okay? Nick's pregnant. I like that one. Hit the like button, guys. So let me read you this here. Hey, Marsh, I think you're going to like this. This is like conspiracy Sills at his best here. You ready? So Tom Brady was suspended for the first 4 games of the year in 2016 for his role in Deflategate. I want to read you this. This is typical liberal bullshit on why this was media made. This is fake news. Listen to this shit. Although he initially won an appeal to avoid before the suspension, was ultimately upheld with legal battles. Here's what he did. Allegations that Tom Brady knew about and was involved in deflating of footballs. Deflating of footballs got a 4-game suspension because the meathead media made some bullshit thing out of nothing. Now, let me give you why Bill Polian is a piece of shit, and also Tony Dungy may be involved in this. So, allegations that Tom Brady knew about his involvement in deflating footballs for the 2014 AFC Championship game. Wait for it, against the Indianapolis Colts. Wait for it. Who was the general manager of the Colts in 2014? That would be Bill Polian. Wait for it. Who was the head coach of the 2014 Indianapolis Colts? Tony Dungy. Wait for it. Who is on the voting committee for induction into the Pro Football Hall of Fame? Tony Dungy and Bill Polian. How do you not recluse yourself from that situation when you got basically a Woody for those two guys in Brady and Belichick, when you know that you have an ass for the fact that you think they cheated deflating footballs, and yet you're on the committee on selecting who goes into the Pro Football Hall of Fame? That sounds like a conflict, doesn't it? That sounds like a conflict. So wait, these two guys have complained for the last decade plus about Belichick and the Patriots cheating, whether it's formations, whether it's Spygate, whether it's this or that bullshit. Those two guys are on the selection committee. How's that possible? How in your right mind do you think those two guys voted for Bill Belichick on being a first ballot Hall of Famer when they had a Woody for the coach and the quarterback? How's that possible? They're on the committee on selecting the Hall of Famers. Tony Dungy and Bill Polian, I heard, stood up in that meeting and were against Bill Belichick being a first ballot Hall of Famer. Those two men stood up in that room and was against Belichick. If you think Bill's an asshole, he's chasing skirts, that is irrelevant. There is not a morals clause in the selection of the Hall of Fame. You are there for one thing. What did you do as an NFL coach? And at the end of it, can you repeat the history of the league without using the name Belichick? You can't. So whatever it is, by the way, Bill Belichick won this. This is another example of meathead voters, like they do in baseball, by keeping Barry Bonds out, Roger Clemens out. This is another example. They think they're mightier than thou. I mean, they think their vote is caretakers of some sort of sport. You kidding? You're right. I mean, Tony Dungy and Bill Polian. And Bill Polian's the biggest liar going. He is such an asshole. Everyone knows it. This is a guy that came out on ESPN and started telling people he had a first grade rating on Tom Brady when not one person on the planet thought he was draftable. This guy's been a liar his entire time. He is not a credible guy, and he has a gold jacket. And by the way, you know why people who hate Bill Belichick are defending him? You made him into a martyr. I never thought I'd be saying this. People made Bill Belichick into a martyr because of, guess what? Your pettiness. 334 victories, 6 Super Bowls, 8 in total. Coached the 2 greatest players in football history in Brady and Lawrence Taylor. There's 2 camps that you're in here. You ready? There's 2 camps. You either are jealous or you're an asshole. Pick one. Or you're both. I mean, you're either an asshole or you're jealous. Now, how does this affect Brady? Under these new guidelines, according to some of these voters, Tom Brady's not a first ballot Hall of Famer. I mean, Bill Belichick was never suspended. Brady was. For conduct detrimental to the league. How about that? This guy was suspended for the same shit T.O. was. Conduct detrimental. But this one's different. This was conduct detrimental to the league. T.O. got suspended because he talked crap on the Eagles. Wow. The Eagles didn't like harsh language. Go figure. That's a Bob Lane special right there, baby. Can't talk bad about a football team or they'll sit your ass down. We hated Bill and the Pats because how good they were. Right. I get it. It's classic. I mean, I don't know what else to say about it. You can't say anymore. The 72 hours has been hilarious. It's been hilarious. And hey, by the way, I agree. Some of the voting is wild. Hey, for the record, we're going to get Mike Hill on from Fox Sports. You know Mike Hill from Fox Sports, one of our dear friends. He is one of the hosts, that goes around when they go from game to game. Mike was at ESPN a long time ago. Dear friend of ours, he'll join us. I think this is his second appearance. Zander thinks it's his first appearance. So we'll have him at 3:30, and Big Z will join us. That'll be at 4:30. Hit the like button. This has been classic. This has been great to cover. By the way, this is a great lesson in pettiness. Why don't you like Bill Belichick? Why? Because he won? Or because he pushed the rules? Are you under the impression? Here's something that I told kids earlier today on my radio show in Tampa. Ready? We used to spray stuff on our jerseys. And we would spray stuff on our jerseys. It's silicone. And we would have the two-way tape. And our equipment guys would spray. And they would spray our jerseys. And then they would put those pads on us. They got a different setup now. Is that cheating? Every NFL player on the planet, offensive line and defensive line, to this day still does that. Is that cheating? Shit, I don't think that's cheating. I think that's gamesmanship. Or how about this one? Trying to steal signs and trying to steal snap counts. You know what you do? You go out. Back in the day, you were allowed to do this. You go out and you watch warm-ups and you get the cadence of the quarterback in the pregame, and you go out there and you get, he likes to go on 2. Ha-hut, ha-hut. A lot of quarterbacks go on set hut. And you go out and you are not supposed to, but you're in the tunnel and you're listening for cadence. Why is that important? It gives you a jump on the ball when you're playing defensive line. Ha-hut, set hut. So you're out there listening. That's why nowadays, get this, you can't go out. NFL officials are in the tunnels now, and opposing teams can't go out on that side of the field during an opposing team when they come into town and they're a road team. You can't have personnel over there. Belichick used to send his kid and the cheerleaders over when the opposing teams were at Gillette. Can't do that anymore. Belichick was trying to get an advantage on trying to get the snap count. Is that cheating? I think that's gamesmanship. That's called trying to get an edge. Sills, what's Jason Cole's take? I couldn't get him today, guys. Jason Cole voted for Bill Belichick, and he thinks he said this about Bill Polian. And Jason said this, we'll try to get him again. I swear to God, all these Hall of Fame voters are just, I tried to get Armando on too. Armando presented him. And he thinks it's BS. I can guarantee you Bob Kraft goes in next Thursday. And this is all about the owner. Just like here in Philly, the owner wants to be looked at as the smartest guy in the building, smarter than his coach. Just like Terry Pagula in Buffalo. You had to run Sean McDermott over twice. Just like the owner in Baltimore. You had to run over John Harbaugh a couple times. Just like my coach, Jimmy Johnson. Jerry Jones thinks he built a dynasty. Well, funny this, Jerry. How come you never been back to an NFC title game since those days that Jimmy built that team for you? Anybody? Johnson's never been back. Or excuse me. Jerry's never been back. Sills, do you think some voters were voting for guys who were in their last chance like L.C. Greenwood and Roger Craig? Hopefully they fix it. I do think that. Yes, I do think that. I think especially with a guy like L.C. Greenwood. I believe L.C. died, I want to say in 2013 that he died. And yes, I do. I think there were a lot of guys that were saying this. Well, Belichick's a shoo-in. He's going to get into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. This is the last chance for L.C. Greenwood to get in. Yes, I do believe that. Or a Roger Craig. Yes. And do I think L.C. Greenwood and Roger Craig are Hall of Famers? I most certainly do. I thought they were Hall of Famers 25 years ago. Roger Craig was Bijan Robinson before Bijan Robinson. He was Marshall Faulk before Marshall Faulk. Okay? So, all right. Had to get that off my chest. Please hit the like button. Oh, and by the way, I guarantee you, Bob Kraft, this is by design. Bob Kraft is going into the Pro Football Hall of Fame before Bill Belichick. Next Thursday, he's going in. And this was clearly by design to put the owner in, just like it was with Jimmy Johnson. How does Jerry Jones get in? What did he ever do? Hey, look, just like I tell people, funding projects, you have to get credit for that. Funding projects, okay? The guys who stroke the checks, they got to get credit. But when it comes to building the football team, that's all Jimmy. He hired the assistants. He drafted the players. He built the team. He made the trades. Jerry Jones didn't do any of that. Same thing with Belichick. He just did it longer in New England. All right. So how many coordinators have you guys looked at now? Kyle, give me a number. What is it, 17, 18? What is it, day 18? What is it, coordinator 18? Heard Xander and John talking. Hey, I don't give a shit any longer. This is classic. Here was Xander's take. Hey, I don't give a shit any longer if the guy has no experience or not. Just get a guy who's good. I don't care. And you know what? Right now, you're in that position. Just get a dude. Jesus criminy. Shit or get off the pot here, right? Where are we going here? How many guys have you looked at? 18? Day 18. 18 candidates. All right. So, if Nick Sirianni, according to M. Reyes, is the greatest coach in the history of the NFL, why doesn't Nick call plays? Why doesn't Nick call plays? Why? It's Nick's offense, he says. Why doesn't Nick call plays? Okay, truth? Then why doesn't Nick call plays? Why doesn't he? Why doesn't he take the job? Why don't the Eagles name him? If he's so good a play caller and such a great coach, why can't he call plays? Call plays in Indy. Call plays in San Diego. Why can't he call plays here? What happened? Would he get dumber? I mean, why doesn't Nick call plays? Nick is such a great coach. How come he doesn't call plays? If you're going to land on a guy that's never called plays before, why don't you just have your head coach call plays? Get this. Sills, do you think Stoutland, as run game coordinator, is a sticking point with some candidates? Yeah. Let's go to Dumb Reyes. Nick can call plays. He has more responsibilities. Like what? He has no responsibilities on defense. Zero. He has no say on that side of the ball. He delegates people? Like who? Brian Johnson? Kevin Patullo? Like what? He has no responsibility on defense whatsoever. Zero. He don't pick the personnel. He doesn't pick the approach. The coaches that are going to be there are Vicks guys. He has no responsibilities on that side of the ball. Why doesn't he call plays? I mean, why not? He's so good. Why doesn't he call plays? He's called plays before. So wait a minute. Who's the last guy? And let me ask you this. So let's go here. Let's go down the list here. Let me just, I'll find a name because there's so many of them that you guys have like looked at. Let me just pick a guy. Any guy. Here. Let's see. Sean Mannon. He's never called plays before. You don't think Nick's more qualified to call plays than that? Don't change the fact the team needs an OC. Team needs an OC? No, it doesn't. Team needs an OC. Why don't you name your head coach? Going to keep the shit the same anyway. You know why? Prince. Nick didn't call plays in those places. Stop saying, here, let's see this. Incorrect. Okay. Let's go over to Nick Sirianni. Let's take a look at that. He didn't call plays. Okay. Let's see. Nick Sirianni, offensive coordinator, 2018, 19, and 20. And at the beginning of the Philadelphia Eagles, when he first got the head coaching job, he was calling plays. You're a liar. Okay? And in San Diego, Frank allowed him to be part of the play calling. I was there for it. And I know Frank Wright. You don't. So you don't know what you're talking about. It is correct. So Nick Sirianni was a play caller for 3 years in Indianapolis. He was the first year in first 6 games. He called plays for the Eagles. Xander and I were talking about it. You think this guy survives? Okay. Can't make Nick the OC and head coach. Why? Sean McVay does it. Andy Reid does it. Oh, I got it. No excuse then, because the offense then will blow. Oh. So Nick Sirianni, if we're listening to what you guys say, that wait a minute, Sills, Frank called plays in Indianapolis for those 3 years and not him. Hold on then. According to Prince, Nick Sirianni has no offensive mind whatsoever and what a good play caller is. Is that correct? If it wasn't Frank calling the plays and it was Nick, but according to you, Prince, it was Frank. How would Nick know what a good play caller is then? When he's never been a play caller, according to you. It's one or the other, dude. Pick one. I'll wait. So if you're saying to me that it was Frank in Indianapolis and not the OC, Nick Sirianni, for 3 years, okay? When Nick Sirianni got his first opportunity to be a play caller head coach, he failed. They were 2-4. Remember? Or do you forget? Okay? Wait a minute. Answer the fucking question. Why doesn't Nick call plays? You missed my super sills. I need that red, please. Okay, we will get to it. I promise you, as always. Marsh, you guys, you know we read all the super chats. Did we miss it? Let me go back here, see if we missed it here. Let's see here. Here's Marsh. M. Reyes, did you and Nick ride the same short bus? Xander, I just learned how to go backwards on the scroll. Just so you know, I mean, I'm learning on the fly here. So I just now have learned how I can bring him up and I go back in the scroll. Okay, big cells, still learning. I seen on Twitter, Eagles met with Markel Bell. Let's fucking go. Sure. Okay. Oh my God, man, this is great. How come your boy Nick? Why didn't he take over the play calling? Or does he need a cover? In case it goes south, he needs to fire somebody, and that's why you have an OC. Where's M. Reyes? M. Reyes, just a question for you. So is the reason to have an offensive coordinator in case it fails that Nick and Jeffrey and Howie have an excuse on who to fire? Is that why you have OCs? Is that why you have OCs? Because the head coach has never been asked, but the first time when he came here, to be a play caller. How come he doesn't take over? He's such a savant. You guys call him a great coach. How come he can't take over the play calling? Then we can find out what kind of guy this is. Maybe he is maybe he is a great play caller. Like McVay and Kyle with their OCs. They don't call the plays, but just have them learn like how Frank did with Sirianni. He can't call plays. Okay? Every team has an OC. Every team doesn't have a head coach that calls plays. You could be named, in theory, OC. Okay? I mean, I thought Nick was brought here to be a play-calling head coach. Eagles are interviewing Bucs OC Josh Grizzard for a second time. That doesn't shock me. Josh Grizzard was a scapegoat. Wait a minute. Here. Josh Grizzard was the Kevin Patullo for Todd Bowles in Tampa Bay. You know the guy they just hired? Zach Robinson, the Buccaneers OC? You know the guy they just hired? That guy they just hired has a better offense than Zach Robinson, Josh Grizzard, did last year. So the new coordinator in Tampa, Zach Robinson, had the same offense that Grizzard had the year earlier. But they fired him, and now they think there's some sort of wild update or upgrade here. He isn't a good play caller, Sills. He was demoted everywhere he went. He was horrible in his first year with us. He is terrible. He was terrible. He's not a good play caller. That's why the Eagles, hey, Marsh, you know what I'm doing here. I mean, get this. They're looking for all these guys with no experience and all this bullshit. And get this. They got a guy in the building who's the head coach who's supposed to be an offensive-minded guy with Frank Reich and them, but they wouldn't even want to go to him. How come they don't interview him for a play calling? Isn't that wild? Here's a new one. Watch this. I'll be trying to do some bullshit before I even read this. Sills, any input, okay, on the ongoing paternity lawsuit between Marsh and Caitlyn Jenner? What? What do you think? I'm Diddy? I know bullshit like that, Marsh. That's for weirdos like you that sit around and do that. Actually, pretty funny, though. I won't. Hey, I'll give you a little bit. That's probably one of your best pieces of work there, Reyes. Not bad. Chills, they got to hire someone quick. They have fans crashing out. You egging it on. Just hire Cooter. Yeah. Okay. What's the weak take? How come your head coach sucks as a play caller? I mean, what? Did he take that? Seals Jeff McClain, a reputable reporter, said Stoutland was demoted as run game coordinator late in the season. Your thoughts? No, he didn't. Jeff McClain didn't report that. No way. No way. I want verification on that. Jeff Stoutland's retiring. If that is true, that report, Jeff Stoutland's the news next week. Nick might be able to call plays, but he has limited quarterback named Hurts. Call a spade a spade. Holy shit. Jeff Stoutland was demoted as run game coordinator. He's retiring. He's retiring, or they're firing him, or he's stepping down like Jeff Schwartz. Or like Jim Schwartz. He got it taken away in 25 and doesn't think he will get it back in 26, said he will return for O-line coach only. Wow. And get this. They must have been floating that around, and I'm going to tell you why they made that and making that public now. Coordinators are looking at Jeff Stoutland, and that's been the roadblock in these guys taking the job, has been Jeff Stoutland. I told you this 3 weeks ago. Keep an eye on Stoutland. If Stoutland's here, you're not getting a reputable or an established offensive coordinator. If he's gone, you're going to get one of those like Cliff Kingsbury. I'm going to tell you something here. I'm going to make a prediction. If that story is true, Cliff Kingsbury is your next offensive coordinator. Stoutland might be back to Alabama again. I'm going to make it, and I appreciate that. I'm going to make a prediction. Okay? Cliff Kingsbury is going to be your coordinator. Cliff Kingsbury, whose name's been quiet, has to be on the back burner then. That was the holdup. The last time you guys, and Cliff Kingsbury's worked with Caleb Williams, Patrick Mahomes. Okay? Why? Dude, name me a better guy out there than Cliff Kingsbury that's out there for offensive coordinator. Prince, I'll wait. At least that guy's had success and had successful quarterbacks. Name me another guy that's developed quarterbacks and is an RPO quarterback guru kind of guy that coaches that style. Name me one. Name me one. We give Cliff Nick is out because you would have to make him assistant head coach. No, he's no longer hired by Baltimore. You think the Eagles will give the keys to Cliff? If you're not firing, but demoting Jeff Stoutland, yes. And it will be a collaborative effort. And that'll be a great hire. That'll be a great hire. If Jeff McClain said that Jeff Stoutland had that part of his job description taken from him late 2025, Cliff Kingsbury makes complete sense now. I love it. Nick's replacement. It just makes, listen, I'm not firing Jeff Stoutland for anybody. But if you're taking the run responsibilities away from him and he will have to take direction from a new coordinator, let me ask you this. You would hire a guy? Let's put the tea leaves together here. So if Jeff Stoutland really is not the run game coordinator any longer, and it doesn't seem he's getting it back in 26, you would give the keys to the offense to a guy that's never in a million years called one run play, let alone a pass play, and have Jeff Stoutland take orders from that guy? Make that make sense. Or would you hand the keys over to somebody that has handled experienced quarterbacks, that has handled run games? I mean, do me a favor, Kyle. In the year that the Arizona Cardinals won 11 ball games, can you tell me what Cliff Kingsbury's offenses were ranked passing and rushing? I'd like to know what he did. I mean, not very many people are going to be successful in Arizona. You got the Bidwells, one of the worst ownership groups of all time. This makes sense now. And by the way, Jeff McClain getting that, Bob Lang and his PR department leaked that. They're going to switch back now. And with the 3-year contract, that was on the table for Cliff Kingsbury before the roadblock got in the way, it was Jeff Stoutland. Jeff Stoutland was the roadblock for that deal getting done. They wanted Kingsbury 2 years ago instead of Kellen Moore. The plot thickens. Okay? The plot thickens. Cliff Kingsbury with Jalen Hurts? Shit, yeah. All day. That's a style. That's a style of OC that would be perfect for Nick and for the quarterback and for the receiver. Sills, if any of these guys are Cliff's guys we interviewed, oh boy, I love this. It's funny, the offensive coordinator or the offensive coach that got hired in Detroit was, I think on the Kingsbury staff. I'm not sure. Hey, Kyle, do me a favor, Kyle. You're my boy. I want to know what the offenses were ranked the year that the Cardinals won 11 games. What was the passing? What was the total offense? And most importantly, what was the rushing number on where they were ranked? Then you're going to get a sense, and we're going to start plugging this in. Okay? Jeff McClain, who a beat writer, listen, he doesn't like me, and I really don't like him. I don't give a crap about that. You know what I do care? He's reputable. He's around the team. He's one of the mouthpieces on the team that they leak stuff to. So that right there in itself, he didn't get that just by making that up. Hell, John McMullen comes on our network and says a couple things, and guess what happens? John gets spanked when he walks into the NovaCare Center. Guy can't say anything. He says Timu. All of a sudden, it lasts forever. Okay? They were 11th in passing the year that they won 11 ball games with Cliff Kingsbury as the head coach play caller. Like to know what they were in the run game and what they were in total offense. Okay? 14th in rushing, 11th in passing. 10th in rushing, 10th in passing. There's your guy. There's your guy. That's my boy Kyle. 10th in rushing, 10th in passing. Cliff had us top 5 last year. Great call. Let's take a look at that. Let's take a look at this here, what the Washington Commanders were a year ago with an absolutely pathetic offense and an absolutely pathetic year that they had. So let's take a look at what he did on a bad football team. Cliff Kingsbury, offensive rankings. Let's take a look at this. Commanders. They were 22nd in total offense. Quarterback was injured. Not a shocker. They were 24th. Actually, they had no Jaden Daniels, and they had a cascade of quarterbacks, and they still almost had a better passing attack than you did. Rushing, Commanders were 4th. They were 4th in rushing. They were 4th in red zone. They were 21st in third down. They were better than the Eagles. They had a better year offensively than the Philadelphia Eagles did a year ago. With no Jaden Daniels. What are you thinking about? Matt Nagy. I'm not down on Matt Nagy. Matt Nagy. Who was Cliff's run game coordinators recently? Who was the run game coordinator in Washington last year? I know this, who the pass game coordinator is and who he was. It was Brian Johnson. Brian Johnson be brought back to Philly as your pass game coordinator? Would the Eagles do that if Cliff wanted him? How you doing? This is getting good. This is getting great, actually. Anthony Lynn. Man, do I love that coach. Anthony Lynn, the former head football coach of the Chargers. And he was out there in, let me see, who did he work for? Who was the coach? He worked with Mike McCoy. Interesting. When Mike McCoy was the head coach of the Chargers. Yeah. I forgot that. So there's a connection. Anthony Lynn knows Nick Sirianni. Woo! How would you even know who he is, ding dong? Hurts getting injured. Hope McKee. Oh, come on, man. Man, I had no clue Cliff was at Washington until 2 weeks ago. He really made a statement this year, huh? Well, he made a statement when he had no quarterback. By the way, they beat you. Oh, yeah, by the way, they beat you with Jimmy Johnson quarterbacking, no? Or who's the guy? Josh Johnson. Yeah, Jimmy Johnson was the quarterback who's the worst player in the history of pro football at quarterback. I know. Our backups. Yeah, but I'm sure, like, Washington was great. Hey, connect the dots, Sil. Let's effing go. How you doing? That's what we do here. Connect dots. How you doing? I got to see this Jeff McClain, man. I don't believe this. Here it is. Okay. Oh, that's Billy Bob, Jim Bob Cooter going in for his second, whatever, powwow, Zoom. Who knows? Okay. Jalen Hurts roller coaster lost. Kevin Patullo. How will the next ride fare? I don't care about that. Let me see here. Jim Bob, Billy Bob, Joe Cobb, Cooter. I don't really care here. Let's see here. Oh, my latest Uncovering the Birds brings up to speed on Eagles OC search. Nick Sirianni, Jalen Hurts as a center figure, and Jeff Stoutland's future. Huh? Jeff Stoutland's future? Okay. Jeff Stoutland's future. I love it. Connect them dots. Yes, sir. Cliff Kingsbury makes complete sense. You demoted Stoutland, the guy that stopped the hiring of Cliff Kingsbury. He's worked with Patrick Mahomes. Who else has he worked with? Jaden Daniels. He's worked with Jaden Daniels, who won the Rookie of the Year award. He worked with Caleb Williams, who won the Heisman Trophy at USC the year he was the OC. And was the head coach of Patrick Mahomes at Texas Tech. Oh, you're right. Probably sucks, right? Well, Sills, sucked as a head coach. We're not hiring him as a head. Oh, and Kyler Murray. Got Kyler Murray a $48 million deal. Who are you going to hire? This guy's got the resume. Here, let me Google that here. Sills, let's say they hired Kingsbury. Does that change? Yeah, I would think so. So here, let's take a look at this. And go Cliff Kingsbury, quarterbacks that he's coached. QBs, Cliff Kingsbury has coached. Here we go. Here's the quarterbacks. Okay. Ready? You tell me if this guy makes sense to you. Patrick Mahomes guided Johnny Manziel to the Heisman Trophy at A&M. Kyler Murray, the number one overall pick. Caleb Williams, USC. Jaden Daniels, Washington Commanders. Baker Mayfield, Texas Tech. And you want, what's his name? Filet Mignon? Sean Filet Mignon? Is that the guy? Mike Hill will join us at 3:30. Nick being told to shut up, and Cliff and his guys coming in. It's a gift from God. Hallelujah. This means AJ is definitely out here. No, I don't believe that he's out of here. Yeah, but by the way, look at those names. Look at those names. Mahomes, Murray, Manziel. Get this, Case Keenum. Houston Cougars. Keenum was a quality control coach and later offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coach during Keenum's record-setting career year that broke every NCAA record when it came to passing yards and touchdowns. Was elevated to pass game coordinator at Houston. This guy broke all the records in the history of college football when he was in charge of the offense at Houston. Then he had Manziel. As offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coach, Kingsbury helped Manziel win the Heisman Trophy, the Manning Award, and making him the first freshman ever to win the Heisman. Mahomes. Kingsbury recruited, coached Mahomes for 3 seasons, where Mahomes led the FBS in passing, developed into a dual threat skills, and made him a multiple Super Bowl MVP. Jaden Daniels, rookie season, rookie of the year for the Washington Commanders. Like, who are you hiring again? Filet mignon. Okay. Do you think we demoted Stoutland to pave the way for Cliff? Think about it. He was about to sign with us in 24. I think it is big, Sills. Hey, no, what I'm saying is this makes sense. That Cliff Kingsbury would take that job now. Hey, by the way, can I tell you kind of like, to me, I would love these 2 hires for the Eagles. Why do I want to put Sean McDermott on the defensive staff? And why would I not want to put Cliff Kingsbury on my offensive staff? I think that makes him better, no? So as I said Cliff yesterday, and you shit on me, but he's worked with a lot of similar dual threat quarterbacks. He runs RPOs in Washington and has a great run game. I think it's great, not good. Bearded Willie. I didn't think that he would fit in because I didn't know the future of Jeff Stoutland was in line. Now, is that a compromise? Hey, guess what? Stoutland's no longer in charge of the run game. You know what's funny? Nobody knew anything about that Jeff Stoutland wasn't in charge of the run game. Well, who was? You put a first-year play caller in charge of your run game too? What were the Eagles thinking last year? Who made that decision? So you put on Kevin Patullo's plate last year, you took the run game coordinating duties away from Jeff Stoutland with a football team that had injuries in the O-line, and you gave him to Kevin Patullo? Or who? Make that make sense. It's not true. I think they just did this. You really think Jeff Stoutland lost his run game coordinator responsibilities when? November? October? Don't you think one of the players might have said something? Shit, I heard Mulata talking about on TV, Stoutland you. Maybe Jim Schwartz will go to Buffalo. If he can get out of his contract, he's still under contract with Cleveland. Cleveland really doesn't want to let him go, from what I understand. Love the idea of Kingsbury. I still have questions. Jalen's limitations, as you call it. Well, I think you would get a play caller in here that would accentuate those limitations and coach away from them. Maybe this is a compromise. Guys, maybe this is a compromise. Okay? Maybe it's this. And look, we're not firing him. You want the run game coordinator duties taken away? Fine. Why else would they make that public? No first-year guy needs that. Only an experienced guy would want that. Matt Nagy? Cliff Kingsbury? A Greg Roman? Anybody like that? You're not doing it for first-year play callers. Sills, in December, check out Undercovering the Birds, McLean's podcast. I will. That's Get Me My Coffee job. I haven't seen any real connection with the Eagles and Cliff yet. That doesn't mean that that's not behind the scenes. What do you mean you don't see? 2 years ago, they tried hiring him. They got to the last stages of a 3-year contract. What do you mean, any connections? You must have missed that. Or you're listening to some BS conversation going on in Philly. Because we told you there was a 3-year deal on the table, and it came down to Stoutland. This offseason. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough, my friend. Big Sills, I'm calling it now, bro. Cliff is going to be our OC. Demoting Stout was the best, was set the way for Cliff, has been under the radar. Am I crazy? Listen, right now, I'm trying to look at what that Jeff McLean report is. Jeff Stoutland is no longer in charge of the offensive running game. That's a big deal. Cooter's now talking to the Giants. Dude, why wouldn't Cooter be talking to the Giants? He's a run coordinator that deals with RPO guys. What's Jackson Dart? Jackson Dart. I'll tell you this. I'd like to see Cliff Kingsbury with Jackson Dart also. That might look good in New York. I'd like to remember something too. Cliff Kingsbury. Here, watch this. I'll give you guys. What was Cliff Kingsbury's contract? Kingsbury's Cardinal contract. Okay. He signed a 5-year contract in 2023. 5-year contract. Then he got a 5-year contract, and then he signed it in 22. So right now, currently, the deal, which will fully guaranteed, estimated at roughly $7.5 million annually. Do you understand? That contract runs through 27. You know why you don't hear his name? He's making $7.5 million from the Cardinals. Why would he take a $3 million OC job unless it wasn't perfect? That's why you don't hear his name. He's still got money coming from the Cardinals. He signed a 5-year contract in 22 with the Arizona Cardinals. So when you guys are going, Cliff Kingsbury, no noise for him. Well, he's still being paid by Arizona. $7.5 million. Okay? Right here. Here's the details of the contract. In March of 22, Kingsbury signed an extension running through the 2027 season. He's got this year and next year. This year and next year. This dude's got $16 million coming to him. Why would he take a job like the Titans OC gig? For what? This guy's sitting back in his mansion going, I'll pick the best available job going. I'm really surprised. I hear people doing this. It's because you don't really know the contract that he had with the Bidwills. 5 years he signed in 22. He's still got 2 years remaining. This guy's got $15 million coming to him. Hey, I'm going to take some shitty OC job somewhere for $2.5 million. Go there and wreck my name, and I have no say over the offense. Bullshit. I'll sit in my house and make $7.5 million, and I'll wait for you to come to me. He's got 2 more years of this. Do you know when you hire him, you've got to do it's offset money. So, like, if you hire him, the $7.5 million, say you hire him for $3 million in Philly, right? Well, that means Arizona then is like $3.5 million out of their paying him because the respected NFL team, like the Commanders, were paying him. So it helps the Cardinals in a way. Cliff gets paid $7.5 whether he works or not. It's just by how you want to slice it up. Yeah, well, I mean, look, if you had $8 million coming in, would you take just any gig? Would you take a shitty quarterback gig? No. And when he left the Commanders, okay, but there's no big deal off him. That just means Arizona's got to pay him more. Only offsets if he gets, yeah, what? That's probably true too. I didn't think about that, Tommy. Okay, I don't know that. I thought if he got hired by an organization, I thought it was offset money. That's a good point. I can't answer that one. I don't know if he had to get. So you're telling me he made $13 million last year with the Commanders? He made more money than the head coach, Dan Quinn? Wow. No wonder they want to get him out of there then. Because you're talking about $3.5 million, you're making $7.5 from Arizona. That's $11 million. Cliff Kingsbury's making a killing. Yeah, I mean, why hasn't Cliff been brought in? How come nobody's talking to him? Because it's expensive. He's not just going to take a gig. That's what I'm saying. He's in no rush. If we hire him, it's because it's on his terms. He wants the perfect situation where he makes the calls. Hence, Stout demoted. Right. Think of that. This guy's got 2 more years of calling his putt. Okay? Hey, Reyes, I mean, right? Key details of the deal. Get this. Okay? Listen to this. In March of 22, Kingsbury signed a contract extension through 26. Despite being fired in 23, the guaranteed contract dictates that the Cardinals continue to pay him. Oh, Jesus criminy. You're right. Who the hell did that deal? No matter what, they pay him. Arizona Cardinals are paying him right now, $7.5 million. This guy makes as much as probably half the coaches in the league right now. Why hasn't he been considered for coordinator jobs? Well, what do you think? He's making a shitload of money. 5-year contract. And then the Cardinals fired him the next year. What? No, they fired him the same year because I think he got blown out in 22. Sills, if we lose Vic, I think Vic, this is Vic's last stop. It's wild, isn't it? I heard John McMullen making that comment. Hey, how come Kingsbury hasn't been really? Well, because the money's making. I knew this. Why he had, it's not because people don't want him as the OC. Dude, okay, I showed you the quarterbacks he's worked with. You could really make the argument, is there a more qualified coordinator for Jalen Hurts than Cliff Kingsbury? The Eagles even knew that 2 years ago. No. No matter, I mean, how about this? Do you think Cliff Kingsbury is more qualified than Mike McDaniel? Oh, yeah. You think he's more qualified than Brian Dable? Yeah. The problem is he's expensive. This guy wants shit his way. I want this, this, and this, and that. And if he doesn't get it, he'll go going home to my mansion. So wait a minute. Let me add this up because I went to Miami. So I got to add it up here for a second here. I got to get my calculator out here for this. So $7.5 million times 5. So this guy's going to make nearly $40 million over the next 5 years. He's going to make like $40 million. No, do I got that right? Yeah, $40 million. What do you think he's going to do? Hey, I'll take the Titans OC gig. Yeah. Hey, no. I tell you what. I'll take the Jets job. Why? $40 million to pick his own gig. See, the Eagle gig. Man, I'll tell you what, I really like the gig. A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith. They got a lot of great personnel people that give you what you need. Stoutland wants to run your offensive running attack. Yeah, that's not going to work for me. He can say those things. And the Eagles will do this. All right. I'll land on Sean Minion or Filet Mignon or whatever the frick the guy's name is. Has the NFL defensive coordinators caught up to Cliff's offense? Cliff runs a spread offense and shotgun mostly. Dude, Jane Daniels was injured. What'd you think? I'd really like to know what happened in Washington. I'll bet you anything. Cliff said, I'm out. Because they weren't that bad in offense. They just weren't. With all the problems they had at quarterback a year ago, they weren't that bad, especially the fact that they were fourth in the run game. They were good at running the ball. And isn't that what the Eagles need to improve on? Is the run game, right? They got to improve on the run game. Here, if we're to speculate about when the Eagles reduced Jeff Stoutland's role in the run game, the mini bye after week 6 and the loss to the Giants is probably a good guess. That's when heavy 6th O-line usage began. Wow. Okay, well, who was the run game coordinator? Kevin Patullo? Wow. That thing was a total train wreck last year. That thing was a total train wreck. No wonder your offensive run game stunk. You had no clarity in who was calling plays. I mean, you had no clarity. And by the way, here's something else to think about on how covert the Eagles are. So nobody that covers the team knew Jeff Stoutland wasn't the run game coordinator anymore. And maybe from as early back as week 6. Who covers your team? How do you not know that? How do you not ask questions about that? I mean, okay, how doesn't Nick address that? When guys were asking him questions about the run game and Barkley and all of those guys questioning Saquon Barkley on whether he lost the step, what's wrong with the run game, they kept asking those questions. Their answer was, hey, we're just not getting, there's injuries in the O-line. That's what their excuse was? It was injuries? And not saying, well, now I know why. They didn't want to tell you. They didn't want to tell you because they had made a change at run game coordinator. And he took Stoutland out of the conversation, according to Jeff McClain's reporting. And again, some people are thinking as early as week 6. So who the fuck was calling the plays in the run game? Nick? Kevin Patullo? No wonder you were running the same zone read runs every single freaking time. It was like a high school offense. Well, that leads me to believe Kevin Patullo was calling the run plays then. That's why everybody kept. Hey, Xander, how many times did I ask you? You think there's something wrong with Barkley? I said it every week to him for 17 weeks. Hey, man, I'll ask you one more time. You think there's something wrong with Barkley? I knew there was something up with the run game the entire year. You guys were laying it on injuries. They demoted Stoutland. The question is when? It's another self-sabotage. I'm not firing Jeff Stoutland on my run game coordinator, turn it over to a guy who barely has just learned how to pick his nose, let alone pick plays to call. Where in your right mind are you in that one? Make that make sense. Make that make sense. So your run game had injuries in the O-line. You thought it was in the best interest, according to Jeff McClain, to demote Jeff Stoutland? And you couldn't get any continuity going in the run game? Shit. The plot thickens. Who's making these decisions? Nick? Hey, Nick, is that you again? You did the same shit with Sean Desai and with Brian Johnson, did he not? What's going on here? I mean, get this. This is a person that covers that team who, you know what they do? I don't know. Any of you guys ever seen Wall Street? Psst. Blue Horseshoe likes Anacott Steel. Hey, Jeff Stoutland is no longer the run game coordinator after the fact. And guess what? Nobody asked the question. When people were talking to, you know what? I remember someone asking, are you on the same page with Jeff Stoutland? And I remember Kevin Patullo going, yes. Okay, if you believe that, then you have to believe that Howie Roseman demoted Jeff Stoutland. So Rasputin, I like this guy's thing here. They're like, okay, kid. Hey, then you believe that Howie demoted Jeff Stoutland too. All right. I don't think you're off base thinking that. Seals, Nick and Patullo can be moved to the cheerleading squad instead of firing them. The plot thickens. This is why you got big cells. Take a little bit of this. Pour it here. Take a little bit of this. Take a little bit of this. Spin it around. There you go. And you got it rocking here. Let's go. Last couple of days, I need a good whiskey shot. Oh, yeah. How you doing? Man, that'll make that thing go like that. How you doing? Sales Barkley runs for 2K. They win the Super Bowl. You demote Stoutland? Whatever made that call should be fired. I stand there every single week. Hey, you think there's something wrong with Barkley? Hey, you think there's something wrong with Barkley? Think he's lost a step? No. Well, then who's calling those plays? It makes it even more feasible that it wasn't Stoutland, because Stoutland went and called the same play 8 times in a row. Would he? How does a guy go from, like you said, from being one of, and is the great Jeff Stoutland, one of the greatest offensive line coaches in pro football? How do you go from that to getting demoted inside of, let's just say it was week 6. So you go from February 9th and winning the Super Bowl. Okay? Okay? Folks, you think I'm talking bullshit here? Do you? What's a junk take, guy? Curious. What's the junk take? These aren't my takes, asshole. This was Jeff McClain's comments. Takes? What takes? What? Truth? I mean, what are you talking about here, guy? What takes? Jeff McClain's reporting that Jeff Stoutland was demoted as run game coordinator? Yeah, that's me. Drinking on the job. As usual, you would believe anything you see. Truly. You believe that. Right. Drinking on the job. Whatever, guy. Go sit in the corner, Dunkoff. Still's the play calling genius of Dumb and Dumber. Nick has been and always will be a whipping boy for the front office. I believe it was Howie. He wants the credit. What, for demoting Stoutland? Demote Stout. Put KP is all good. This is why you don't fire friends. Hey, get this. Right. I know why Kevin Patullo hasn't been fired now. It wasn't his fault. It wasn't his fault. It was the incompetence of the way it was handled. Again. You guys really not very good at firing. No way. Brian Johnson stunk. Firing Kevin Patullo stinks now. Wow, how you doing? Damn, what's going on here? Whew. Sound like Marvin Gaye. What's going on here? She says, I think you're right on Stoutland. Last season probably took him over the edge. He may be retiring. So wait a minute. Jeff Stoutland being demoted. Jeff McClain setting you up, man. Next week, Jeff Stoutland's calling it a career. Let's see here. Here. I like this guy here. Watch this. Hey, I know why you do it, and it's okay. You know, I had a little kid one time who used to try to get my attention. She would do all kinds of crazy things to get my attention, and she would be really excited when I acknowledged her. So, honey, congratulations. You can now write down on January 29th, Big Bad Sills. He recognized me because I called one of his favorite friends an asshole. Yeah, this guy's got to be. Congratulations. Tell me this guy doesn't have a blow-up doll. Bring on Cliff. How you doing? Damn. This is fun. You know, I've never, you know what? Sitting around talking about the Philadelphia Eagles has easily been one of my favorite things to do. It really has. Mike Kill's going to join us from Fox Sports at the bottom of the hour. I'm going to ask his opinion on Jalen Hurts. He works on the NFL on Fox, also Major League Baseball. You see Mike Kill all the time on Fox. I think he's going to a golf tournament too, so we may be getting him as he's going to be in a car, I think he told me. So we're going to talk with him. Big Z will join us. That'll be at 4:30. If Cliff comes in, I think they fire Sirianni. No way. Fire Sirianni. Stop with that. Nobody's firing Sirianni. For what? Going 50-18? Let me say this to you. If they fire Nick Sirianni next week and hire Sean McDermott or Cliff Kingsbury or somebody like that, holy cow. Hey, you want numbers? I got them for you. Yeah. Holy cow. Hey, dear football gods, please be that. Please be that. This is all speculation. I need facts. Wait a second. Where do you think Jeff McClain got? So you guys have to understand about media. I'm here to help you. I've worked in this thing almost 40 years. Okay? I've worked in media almost 40 years. Let me think. Hold on. Let me see what I started. I started here. Hold on. Let me plug this in here. I started in 1994, I believe. So 1994 minus 2026. 32 years. I've been in media for 32 years. Okay? Now, 94. Actually, you're right. You're right, Hilton. 35 years because I forgot I started in Vegas in 92. 1992 I started. 92, 93, like that. So it's been about 35 years, okay, that I started, and I've been in this. Let me tell you how this works. You start talking shit on a team and you cover them, you don't cover them and get access anymore. They pull your credentials. Did you see that letter that the Hall of Fame sent out on people breaking bylaws on how they vote for the Hall of Fame? That they will pull their vote and their credentials to be a Hall of Fame voter if you divulge anything that went on in that room. It's like voting for the Pope. And I can guarantee you, some people may get their vote taken from them on how this whole Belichick thing is handled. And I can tell you, and I know this for a fact, the Hall of Fame is pissed off at ESPN. They are pissed off on them breaking the story. Pissed off. And they want to know who's leaked these stories. And what went on in the building, and Belichick and Polian and all that. They want to know. So, I mean, ESPN right now, okay? You get your... So Jeff McClain, he got this from Bob Lang's people. No, something like this, he got from Bob Lang himself. Folks, who in the world would tell you on January 29th, or get this, post something that said that Jeff Soughton was demoted and be allowed back in the building? I've never seen that. I've never seen that. You're told these things. I guarantee you that's what Adam Schefter was referencing. Jeff Stoutland is retiring or stepping down as the O-line coach to make way. This is my speculation for Cliff Kingsbury to be the new OC. And it'd be a fabulous hire. It'd be a great hire. It'd be a tremendous hire for Jalen Hurts. I'm trying to think. Let me take a look at Cliff Kingsbury's history. If there was ever anything like a step over in any way with the coaches. We'll take a look at his history here. He's 46 years old. So he was listen to this resume. In Houston in 2020 and 2008, he was a quality control coach with the Texans. Then he was the offensive coordinator for the Houston Texans in 2011. Then he was with A&M, the OC and quarterback coach. That's Manziel. Then he was in 13 through 18, the head coach. That's Mahomes and Mayfield. Then he was the head coach. Then he worked as a senior offensive assistant next to Lincoln Riley at SC. And Washington, he's the offensive coordinator. There's not a coach, okay? There's not a coach that you've interviewed or that actually was available that has a better resume than that. Not one. So if the Eagles do their due diligence and land on that guy after all these guys have been hired, it's a pretty damn good move. I could see Nick and Cliff dynamic working their personalities, complementing each other. Cliff honestly seems like a chill dude. I think it's a perfect match. Well, again, remember, they had a contract on the table. This came down to Stoutland getting in the way. Jalen hasn't run at the rate that Jaden and Murray did under Kingsbury in 2 years. Now, was that because of Nick, style of play? I don't think Nick's a very good RPO or a dual threat coach. He's never coached that before. It's style of play. Kingsbury has coached that, like Shane Steichen did. Shane Steichen got more out of Jalen because Shane Steichen coaches that style of play. I mean, common sense, use it. I'm not saying you're dumb. I'm just saying, Phil Sirianni's playbook is like a woman who has been divorced 3 times, still blames the husbands for the divorce, for looking in the mirror. Hey, yeah, at the end of the day, though, all that's true. He's got 2 NFC titles in the Super Bowl. You can call him a bad husband, but those relationships benefited somebody. And they produced something. I don't know. I mean, I agree. I'm not saying, but I mean, 2 NFC titles in a Super Bowl? Yeah, I actually do. I think he's a nerd. I think he's stupid. I don't like him. He called me out, trying to get me sued by the Inquirer over some bullshit. All that being said, I do trust him. Hey, that doesn't mean what I just said. I don't think he's good at his job. I could think somebody's an asshole and they're good at their job. I mean, why? It's not hand in hand. Well, he's an asshole, so he sucks as a job. No, that's not how I look at shit. You're jerks that are good at their gig. Okay? I don't have to like you to know it's like Belichick. It's like that conversation you have with Bill. What, because you think he's an asshole? You guys, he's not a Hall of Famer? I mean, 2 things can be true. He could be a jerk and he could be a great coach. Right? I think that's how it works. You don't indict everybody for one thing, do you? I hate folks like that. Well, he supports Trump, so he's an asshole. Well, that doesn't really mean that, but okay. I know you're narrow-minded. If Cliff does good, he leaves, we're screwed either way. Look, I think it'd be a great hire. Hope it's true, Sills. Would be awesome. Well, I'll tell you this. Why in the world would Jeff McClain put that out there that Jeff Stoutland was demoted? Why would he put that out there? Knowing full well one of the reasons that Cliff Kingsbury didn't take the job. And by the way, did I not point out to you and show you? Did I not show you the reason why the guy's not being interviewed? He's making $7.5 million. Hey, Xander, could you please send Mike the link again? He says right now you can't find it for some reason. So on the way. So we're sending it to him. Thanks, Z. So we'll send that to Mike Hill. Mike Hill from Fox Sports is going to join us. One of their really great broadcasters. I think you're going to really enjoy him. He'll be with us here. He's coming on here right now. So I'll tell you what, man. This really here, and I know he's got to play some golf here. We'll get back to this here in a second, but this Belichick story has been wild these 72 hours. And I love getting Mike Hill on. We've had him on here before, and he's getting ready to loop again. I think he's a big-time golfer. We're going to tee him up here. We bring him on board with us here in Philadelphia. He is my friend, Mike Hill. How you doing, my friend?
What's happening, bro? I don't know about the big-time golfer thing, but I'm out here trying, bro. It's a beautiful day in L.A., so might as well take advantage of it.
What was your takeaway in the last 72 hours of this whole thing with Belichick?
Madness, embarrassment. I've been shocked a few times in my 30 years of being a sportscaster. Obviously, you know, when I found out that Luka Doncic had been traded from the Dallas Mavericks to the LA Lakers, when Kobe died, obviously, there are certain things that shocked me, but this right here is definitely in the top three. It's an embarrassment to our profession. It's an embarrassment to the writers and to the contributors, the 50 that voted for him, and I'm happy that a lot of them are coming out and basically trying to clear their name. And I give kudos to the one person that I've seen so far that's admitted that he didn't vote and why he didn't vote, which is his option. I still think it's idiotic, but at the same time, I can appreciate him at least putting his name on him. But the others, the other at least 10 who did not vote for this guy who is the greatest NFL head coach of all time, who's won 6 Super Bowl championships as a head coach, 2 more as an assistant coach, second all-time in wins, for him not to be a first ballot Hall of Famer in the NFL and the Pro Football Hall of Fame is just an outright travesty.
How about this, too? Who would have ever thought this, Mike? The media made Bill Belichick a sympathetic figure. I mean, of all guys, they actually did something here where this guy really wins this, right? I mean, he's a sympathetic figure in this thing here.
Yeah, and I said that all the time. I was like, you know, like he's never going to be in the Hall of Fame for sound bites. He was boring as hell as an NFL head coach. He never gave you anything. He was never going to be the best dressed coach of all time. Obviously, there are certain things that you can criticize Bill Belichick about. Maybe his choice in girlfriend, if you want to go that far and be that personal, whatever. But one thing that you cannot argue with is his greatness on the football field and what he was able to do for a Patriots dynasty. And I know people want to say, well, because of Tom Brady did this and that. Well, who had the guts to actually put Tom Brady in that starting lineup in that season, that first year that Tom Brady was there when Drew Bledsoe got hurt, when Drew Bledsoe came back, and who had the guts to stick with this guy who had not even proven himself at Michigan or in the NFL and saw something in him and gave an opportunity. And, of course, Tom Brady shined, and, of course, Bill Belichick shined. So even if you don't like him, which I can't stand Boston sports. I'm a New York guy, right? I can't stand the Red Sox twice. I hate the Celtics 5 times. I don't even like Boston market because it's from Boston. You know what I mean? That's how much I hate New England sports. I hate the Patriots. I'm a Giants fan. Of course, we got our Super Bowl wins against them. Last couple of wins against them in the Super Bowl. So I'm appreciative of that. But at the same time, I have to respect the greatness that was Bill Belichick. And it's asinine that others could not see his greatness and not give him that honor of being a first ballot Hall of Famer once again, which has a unique distinction. It's one thing to be a Hall of Famer. It's another thing for them to say, well, eventually he's going to get in. But once again, there's a reason why we say first ballot Hall of Famer, because we're talking about the greatest of the great. And if there's anyone who says that Bill Belichick is not one of the greatest of the greats, then that person has no credibility when it comes to watching or covering the NFL.
Mike, tell me your thoughts when it comes to Jalen Hurts. I mean, he's one of the most scrutinized guys. I mean, I used to think it was Dak Prescott, and Dak obviously takes slings and arrows because he's a starting quarterback for the Cowboys, but Hurts is right up there because all of a sudden this guy's limited. You know, he doesn't really, he doesn't show you like the rest of the big-time arms that you see in the game. But, Mike, you look at his resume. 2 NFC titles and a Super Bowl. I mean, resumes matter in the world. If we're talking about Belichick, right? How do you see Jalen Hurts?
I love Jalen Hurts. First of all, I'm an Alabama fan, too. So I loved him when he was at Alabama. I know he had to transfer to Oklahoma, so I've always followed his career. I love his demeanor. I love how he represents himself. And once again, the bottom line is, do you win football games? And Jalen Hurts, even if the offense doesn't look great all the time, even if he's not on the same page as his star receiver in Brown, and even though if he doesn't throw for 300, 400 yards every single game, the bottom line is year in and year out, the results are Jalen Hurts wins. Jalen Hurts is a Super Bowl champion. Jalen Hurts is a two-time Super Bowl participant. Jalen Hurts is a Super Bowl MVP. And for people not to respect that, once again, I have to question, what exactly do you want? Do you want perfection? Do you want beautiful numbers? Do you want Josh Allen? Do you want Lamar Jackson? Do you want these guys, the Joe Burrows of the world? Or do you want to win football games? Once again, Joe Burrow wins football games, Josh Allen wins football games, and Lamar Jackson wins football games. But who's taking those teams to the Super Bowl? I know they've gone. I know Joe Burrow's gone once, and I know that, and I know Lamar Jackson's still trying to get there. But who would you rather have? Would you rather have the fancy quarterback that throws for 400 yards, maybe throws a key interception at a critical time, or a quarterback that throws for 200 yards, runs for another 75 yards, wins the football game, and makes the plays down the stretch that are necessary? Jalen Hurts is that guy. And for the people of Philadelphia or around the NFL not to respect that, I have to question them.
All right, Super Bowl. Couple more questions for you here, Mike. Super Bowl, Seattle, and I think the Patriots and what that job has done by Mike Vrabel. By the way, too, Mike, how about this? Two defensive-minded coaches. They say today you have to have an offensive-minded guy, and you got two defensive-minded guys that are there in Santa Clara this time. But first, with the Seattle Seahawks, I think the storyline, are we not learning something about reclamation projects and Sam Darnold? Sam Darnold's story. Mike, this guy's won 31 ball games in 2 years, kicked out of 4 different places. I mean, it's one of the greatest stories of all time on patience, right? Hey, Mike, if you're a Jet fan right now, and I don't know if I love the fact you're a Gigante fan and you're a Giant fan, but if you're a Jet guy right now, you're going, we had Joe Namath 2.0. Give me your takeaway on that game here and the Seahawks.
So I look at it like this. I think, and I've always said this when it comes to players, organizations and cultures matter, right? So you can have a great player who comes out of college with a great attitude, great mindset, great arm, athleticism, that could be a superstar. But if you put that person in the wrong environment, they're just not going to be successful. And I look at what Sam Darnold went through when he was with the Jets. Name a quarterback who has been successful. All these great quarterbacks they thought were going to be good quarterbacks that have come through there in the last couple of years. Name one that has really been successful. I mean, you probably got to go back all the way to Chad Pennington to find somebody who had a semblance of success in New York. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I think the environment and the culture matters. So I know Sam Darnold had the skill set. Luckily for him, he had the mindset to stay with it and knew that he had to just go to the right environment, the right coach, a coach who really believes in him, a coach that's going to coach him up, put great quality players around him in order to succeed. And some players need that. I always look at quarterbacks as elite, great, good. Elite quarterbacks don't need that much help around them. Elite quarterbacks make everybody else around them great. Great quarterbacks aren't elite, but they are going to be people who get the job done that can have an elite team when you have other great people around you. And then there are other just good quarterbacks who could be franchise quarterbacks, but you need elite players around them. Sam Darnold is one of those guys that's a really good quarterback that could be great, but you got to put great players around him, and you got to put him in the proper environment. Sam Darnold, for the last couple of years, has been in a proper environment. Let Sam Darnold had gone to the Raiders. Sam Darnold wouldn't have been successful. I wouldn't think so. Let Sam Darnold had gone to, once again, a team like the Jets or whatever, gone back to the Jets. They're not going to put Tennessee. All these teams that right now just doesn't seem like they have the right environment, don't have the right culture. A lot of these players aren't going to be successful. And you can look throughout the history of the NFL. I always go back to a guy like Matt Leinart. Matt Leinart, when he was with the Arizona Cardinals, he had a coach that did not believe in him. Vince Young, when he was with the Tennessee Titans, he didn't have a coach who really believed in him, even though he won football games. You put those guys in the right environment, they're going to win football games for you. And unless they're just superb and they can overcome the culture, they can overcome the coaching. That's a Joe Burrow for you. Joe Burrow, even though the Cincinnati Bengals doesn't have a great culture, Joe Burrow is a great quarterback that can overcome that adversity that is put in front of him and still succeed. Most quarterbacks aren't like that. And so I'm happy for a guy like Sam Darnold getting the opportunity to prove himself. Same thing as I am for Baker Mayfield and other quarterbacks who have been reclamation projects.
Last one here for you, Mike. All right. It's the anniversary of Kobe's passing. And of course, in Philadelphia, it's a big deal. Okay.
Yep.
48 minutes. Comes down to the last shot. LeBron or Kobe?
Oh.
Who you taking?
That ain't even a question, to be honest with you. As much as I respect LeBron James, man, Kobe Bryant is the guy for me. Like, I put Kobe Bryant in the same breath as a Michael Jordan, right? Like, Kobe wants to take that shot. So that's first and foremost. And so when it comes down to it, Kobe knows he's going to make that shot. Kobe believes that he's going to make that shot. Not taking anything from LeBron. I think LeBron's going to make the right decision on that play, pass it or take the shot or whatever. But I think there's a clutch gene that only so many players in the NBA or even in professional sports has. And Kobe Bryant was definitely one of those guys. He was built from that cloth. He had that ilk about him that he wanted to take that shot. So, yeah, I think LeBron James is the greatest, most skilled player, I should say, we've ever seen. Not the greatest of all time. Yeah. But when it comes to certain characteristics of a player or an athlete, Kobe just has a different edge to him, man, that I think that's just unique to him like Michael Jordan and other players like that. So, yeah, definitely Kobe Bryant.
What's the handicap?
Handicap is like I might as well be in a wheelchair, bro. Bro, I'm gonna tell you how bad my handicap is. When I'm in a cart, they put a handicap sticker on the top. That's how bad it is.
Oh, wait, you're there just for the drinks and the sandwiches, right?
Pretty much. The thing is, I'm getting better. I am getting better. I get invited to a lot of these celebrity events or whatever, man. I just don't want to embarrass myself. I want to hit the ball. So now I'm down. I'm breaking 90 every now and then. So yeah. But it's still terrible. Put me on the wrong golf course, man. On the wrong day when my back is acting up because I am 55 years old. Yeah, bro. You need to let me hit from the senior tees on that day.
Have a great time today. And Mike, always thank you so much for finding time for me, my friend.
Anytime, my brother. Talk to you soon.
You got it. That is Mike Hill from Fox Sports. Make sure you guys check out him when he's on, man. He's absolutely spectacular, and he always finds time for me when he comes on the program. All right, ramp this bad puppy up again. Hey, you know what? You know how so I got a text message from him. Hey, Sil, this is a true story, Xander. This is a true story. So I got a text message from Mike Hill, and Xander has to remind me. I don't know how many times he's got to remind me. Like, hey, do you know this guy? I go, yeah, I know this guy. And so Mike Hill, who was I talking to? Oh, man, Kurt Menefee. I was talking to Kurt Menefee last night about this whole Belichick thing. And so Kurt Menefee and I are texting, and Mike Hill's with him. Hey, Sileo, how come you don't have me on your show anymore? And I go, Mike, what do you mean how come I don't have you on your show? You had me one time. And I'm like, okay, you want to come on tomorrow? He's like, yeah, I got a golf thing I got to do for Fox. I got a celebrity event I got to do for Fox Sports. And I go, I don't care. Come on. So that's why I put him on. I was like, there's more of a guilt thing for me. Get him on. All right. So like I said, we're talking about, everybody's talking about this. Like, I got a text message last night from James Brown, and I got to get James Brown on here. I know I worked with James Brown when I was at Fox Sports. I worked at Fox Sports for 3 years. My wife worked at Fox Sports, and we worked at Pico. And you know that studio you see those guys in? We worked there. And so I was talking to Menefee, and Kurt Menefee's like, yeah, man, this been and like I said, all the guys there, man, they started talking about, and I think they're getting ready for Major League Baseball. And Mike's getting ready for baseball. I mean, he goes, get me on. I'm like, okay. Jalen will be Dak's backup in 2 years. Book it. Woo, man. Okay. Sigma, bottom 10 passing offense with AJ and Smitty. And got to think about it. Seals, you got a Rolodex. Yeah, it's in my phone now. I used to have it. My wife and I used to actually have this book, and I don't know where. I think we threw this book finally out, but we had a book about, I would say, because now I have it on file and I have a file for it. I would say I got about 7,000 names. Okay. Sills doesn't drink on the air, jackass. I would probably have about 7,000. We have about 7,000 names. I would say that. There's so many names in the Rolodex now that I mean, oh, by the way, I'll show you this. Let me show you this. Do you guys, we're a football show here, but I want to show you this. Here's who I talked to today. Listen, look who I talked to today. And this was right before the show, before I logged in. Where is that thing? And I've been talking to him pretty much for, I would say 3 days now. So check this out. Look who I've been talking to. You guys see the name? Good, there's no phone numbers. Let's see. Do you see the name? Look who I've been talking to. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 times. Wait, is it 1, 2, 3, 4 times? We've been going back and forth. I'm getting him on my weekend show, on my Sports Grid show. Jim Calhoun. Guy's got as many national titles as Bob Knight. He got 3 of them at UConn. So I'm getting Jim Calhoun on my show this weekend to talk college hoop. No, not flexing. I'm just telling you. Who else do we have on here? Can't show that one. I got Frank Reich on here. You got Bill Romanowski on here. I got Tony Dungy on there. You want Rohan Marley? We'll get Rohan. Sills, am I in the Rolodex? No. Still haven't come on my live stream yet. Well, wait a minute. I gave you my damn, I gave you my email address. You know I have. Just here for the entertainment. I actually take that as a compliment, Junior. I saw M. Reyes' name. Yeah, I don't think so. I have stars in my book and people of significance in my life. But the only people you'll see me talking to and picking the phone up, it's a true thing. And unless it's like somebody important, yeah, me answering the phone is that ain't happening. That ain't happening. Oh, by the way, I know the show's being played in the Krause house. Hey, Joe, I didn't hang up on you. Xander says I did, though. I don't know, maybe. I don't know, maybe. Oh, man. Says you got to get out of the basement. Yeah, they've tried that, believe me. Xander still got a plane ticket like stapled to his billboard. Not talking Eagles. They are talking winners. They just talked a ranking offense doing your part. 28th in passing is pathetic with AJ, Smitty, and Goddard. Correct. You're not utilizing your assets. Michael, we need Sills in the stream. Who's Michael? Please be somebody I care about. Where do we listen to you on your Sports Grid show? Noon to 2. Just Google Sports Grid. By the way, it's on Prime Video and Netflix, so you can watch it on that too. I actually saw myself on there. I'm like, got to work on it. Not good. Get Romanowski on. We had him on last week. Kellen Moore is very relevant. Yes. I think he's doing a great job down in New Orleans. Yeah. Get JB back on and Romanowski. Donald would not be as good on the Jets like in Minnesota or Seattle. Is that an epiphany? So let me set this thing back up again here. So let me reel this all back in and let me go back to Jeff McClain. This is by far one of the greatest. This is absolutely awesome here. So according to Jeff McClain, Jason Kelce also said that Landon Dickerson could barely move for the first 2 to 3 games due to injuries. Said that was one of the main reasons for the struggling was Landon Dickerson could barely move. Okay. Jeff McClain also reported, here's something too, Les Bowen. What Adam Schefter said about the Eagles having Sirianni call plays if the new OC isn't ready to do that reminds me of the year Laurie let Chip run personnel. So either that would work and Chip would shut up, or it would and could be the way to fire Chip. We all know what happened. This is Les Bowen. Funny, this was a couple hours ago. I said this a couple hours ago. Let Nick run the plays. Let him be the play caller. You want to know if Nick Sirianni's a good coach or not in offensive schemes? Let him run the offense. Let him be the official play caller. Why not? Why wouldn't you do that? If you think this coach is that good, let him call plays. I'd rather have Nick Sirianni, who's actually called plays, than somebody who's never called plays. Or don't you think the coach is that talented? So wait, the Eagles have a head coach that they don't think is more gifted as a play caller than a first-year play caller from Minnesota or Green Bay or Los Angeles? Really? So think about that. Nick Sirianni, who's 50-18, supposedly a pretty good offensive-minded guy. You would hire a guy that's never called plays instead of looking at Nick and going, why don't you call plays? Make that make sense. Well, wait. So a guy who was so Kevin Patullo, you hire Kevin Patullo, who's not a good play caller, never called plays, and you hire him over Nick. So Nick's so according to you, hey, how many people in here believe that would be a good move, hiring Nick Sirianni as the play caller? Let me hear this one. Who would want Nick Sirianni as the play caller? Oh, I would love it. Oh, I would love it. So, yes, okay. No. With Jalen Hurts is his quarterback. You would love it for content. Really? Feels like I tell you, I'm praying for Kingsbury. I know. We're going to get back to that. He get fired mid-season. Well, this could take care of a lot of things for you. Like they did with Chip. Go ahead, Chip. Run personnel. Like Les Bowen said. Go ahead, Chip. Ran the personnel. They blew his ass out. Yes, because it's boom or bust. Yeah, because you know what? If Nick failed, they'd fire his ass for being a bad play caller, not for being a bad head coach. Why are they protecting him? This guy's such a good coach, he should be able to take over the play calling. And Nick, we trust. Too bad your owner doesn't. Tried firing him twice in 3 years. Explain that away. Hey, M. Reyes, explain that away. Your owner was thinking of firing him 2 times in the last 3 years. Woo! Man, that's a lot of conviction. How you doing? Slick Sirianni. Good move. Credit without responsibilities. That's it right there, baby. Nick gets the credit for the team without the responsibility. But when shit goes sideways, it's someone else's problem. You hit it right there. That's my problem with him. Right there. Intern Sirianni, that is my problem right there. You guys give him all the credit for the success, but when shit hits the fan, it's Kevin Patullo's fault. Sean Desai's fault. Brian Johnson's fault. It's not his fault. He's the guy that gets all the credit, but when shit hits the fan, other people have to die on the vine or fall on the sword for it. That's bullshit. I mean, that's my problem. Honestly, that's my biggest problem with him, is that he doesn't take responsibility, and nor does the organization. That's why he's not the play caller. He's not the play caller because of that. Because it's easy to blame someone else for failure. Hey, things not working. It's Patullo's fault, not my fault. Oh, but when shit goes well, Nick hired him. Okay. Hey, those are front runners. When shit goes sideways, I want problem solvers. Like I said, what really turned me completely away from that dude was the San Francisco game. I saw a practice squad team beat your Eagles. And it was just better coaching. Sills, would you hire Kelsey as the O-line coach? Why would Jason Kelsey do that? Jason Kelsey's making $30 million a year now. Why would he want to take that gig? I mean, he'd be in his life right now. Kelsey's a celebrity. Does the NFL games for ESPN. His podcast is killing it. He's got side deals. He's got a beer company or whatever it is. Why would he want that gig? Why would he want the headache and the limited money compared to what he's making now? I mean, that job, what do you think that job pays? Like, here, what do you think the job pays as an offensive line coach for the Philadelphia Eagles? O-line coach, Eagles, pay. What do you think it is? It's $1 million. No disrespect. That's a good number. How much does Jason Kelsey make a year? Here's Jason Kelsey. How much is Jason Kelsey annual salary? Jason Kelsey. Annual income. He makes $14 million. Guy makes $14 million a year. I'm going to go take $1 million a year job for what? I mean, and yeah, that's not a smart business move. Says you hit a grand slam. 3 coordinators died on a sword. Nick is a professional lackey boy. Hey, all I know is this. I'm going to put the tea leaves together again here. You ready? All right, guys, do me a favor. Hit the like button. Xander's going to join us, too, at around 4:30. So here, according to Jeff McClain, we're going to get to the topics. Oh, my God, I've only got to one. Okay, that was the play caller. All right. Jeff McClain reported that Jeff Stoutland lost his responsibilities as an offensive run game coordinator. Okay. So he's no longer the run game coordinator. Okay? The question is, when was that? Some reports are saying it was week 6. Makes sense. The run game. How many times did we have on the post-game show we talked about this? Where's the run game? Where's the run game? Where's the run game? Every week it was a talking point. What's wrong with Barkley? What's wrong with Barkley? Who was calling the plays? Was it Kevin Patullo calling the run plays too? And that's why they were running into the wall and running 3 in a row? I'll tell you what, every one of those press conferences that guys like John McMullen and other folks were asking questions, and they were asking questions about the run game, Kevin Patullo was answering them, well, we're a little injured in the O-line and we got to get more continuity. I didn't hear him bring up anybody's name, so maybe he was calling him. So you put the responsibilities. So let me ask you this. Do you think that Nick Sirianni took those responsibilities away from Stoutland so he could make his boy have a better chance of success? Do you? Okay. No? Well, then who took him away? If anything, Lurie did it. So Jeffrey Lurie called down from the owner's box. We need to stop having Jeff Stoutland as our run coordinator. I don't think that chain of command goes that way. I think more the chain of command goes this way. Hey, look, I want to give Kevin Patullo the opportunity to be a successful offensive coordinator. And I think Nick's talking to Howie. Howie's in the meetings. Howie goes and tells Jeff. Jeff's okay with it. And then they demote Stoutland. I think that's how that chain of command would work. I don't think you're going to take Jeff Stoutland, who's the highest paid offensive line coach in football. Highest paid O-line NFL coach. Highest paid NFL offensive line coach. NFL. Says Jeff Stoutland. $2 million a year. We double check that. You got to go on NFLPA. $3 million. He makes $3 million. So you're going to go like this. $3 million. That's what coordinators make. So Jeff Stoutland, you're Nick, you're doing this. Hey, I'm taking your responsibilities away from you. You're going to make a $3 million decision without telling Howie and the owner? Yeah, no. Okay. He may have gotten a raise to $5 million. I see 3. He could be making 5. That doesn't go unless it goes upstairs. A $5 million coach? Shit, there's NFL coaches that are only making $8 million. Like offensive coordinators make between $5 and $7 million. Or $4 to $6 million, $4 to $5 million, depending. Here, let me see how much Mike McDaniel got from the Chargers. New OC salary. I got a little thing behind the scenes here. Yeah, this guy's making $6 million. $6 million to be the OC in Los Angeles with Mike. Remember something. John Harbaugh makes $17 million. Okay, he makes $17 million. So that decision just didn't do. You didn't walk into your team meetings one day and do this. Hey, Jeff, come into my office here. Listen, we're relieving you of your duties of the offensive run game. We still want you as head coach. I mean, I still want you head of the offensive line, but your running game responsibilities are going to be passed over to Kevin Patullo. What? Okay. Yeah, that's not. And by the way, the general manager is probably in the building for that because that's salary. Remember, you pay him, you let him coach. You demoted a $3 to $5 million offensive line coach for Kevin Patullo, if true. And that Jeff McClain story is true. Was it Stoutland the run game coordinator in 2020 too? Yeah, he was also the run game coordinator when you won the Super Bowl in 17, and when you went to one in 22, and you won the one in 24. Yeah. You're demoting him? Why are you demoting him? Well, now the story's coming out. That's why I said this. This leads to Cliff Kingsbury. Cliff Kingsbury is the best candidate that's available for the Eagles right now. He's better than anybody they've interviewed. What are you saying? What you're saying makes sense, Sills. That if this is the case, it looks terrible on Stiff Nick for trying to keep out his buddy after how great Stout's been. Well, I mean, I'm going by the report of a beat writer who I don't like but have great respect for. Okay? Oh my God, Xander. Remember how John said they would not let them talk with Stout during this year? And he thought it was weird? Oh my God, think about it. Is this true? Is that true? Well, Xander will be on with us at 4:30. Is that what John said? This is all making sense now. Is that really true? That John said that? There's your answers. Whoa. The plot thickens. I just learned how to scroll. Let's let this resonate. It's like making, as my grandpa back in the day, bathtub gin. Let's just let this sit for a little bit here. Xander, remember how John said they would not let them talk with Stout during the year? And John thought it was weird. Think about it. This all might be legit. Big Sills puts the little dots. These. That's the eyes. The plot thickens. Wow, what an epiphany. Oh, hey, Phil, really? Whoa. How long you been watching? Woo! I got a dream. I have a dream that one day coaches will all get along inside the NovaCare Center. I have a dream that one day Cliff Kingsbury will come in and unite the coaching staff. I have a dream. Woo, man. I have a dream. I see why the offense went to shit. Right. So wait a minute. Who was Kevin Patullo took over for the offensive run game responsibilities? They fired Jeff Stoutland? It's self-sabotage. It's the same shit that went on in 23. The only difference was you didn't lose 6 in a row. Seals, you're our favorite asshole. Yeah. Glazed donuts. I haven't said that in a bit. Seals, be honest. You think Stout's pissed? Depending on where he is in his career and what he thinks about it, do you think he wants to call it a career? Probably not. If he still wants to continue coaching, probably exceptionally pissed off. To a point where he might pull a Jim Schwartz. I'm out of here. I'm retiring. 2 seconds later, he's the offensive line coach for the New York Giants. Or worse yet, the Cowboys. So we win the Super Bowl and the best running offense in years, and they ask him to take a haircut. I didn't say they asked him to take a haircut and pay. So get this. Here's another little tidbit. John McMullen's down there all the time. John said, you know what's really wild? They wouldn't let us talk with Jeff Stoutland this year. I don't know why. We couldn't talk with Stout. Okay. Jeff McClain's report comes out. They demoted him and took his responsibilities away of being a run game coordinator. They didn't want him talking about it. Why would they do that? The guy, February 9th, closed up the greatest run game offense in pro football history. You fired him basically as a run game coordinator? What, 5 games into the season? With all the history that he had in success? Make that make sense. I mean, you didn't give the guy the latitude? As a matter of fact, doesn't it make sense why Jason Kelsey came out on WIP? I think it was this morning. It said Landon Dickerson could barely stand up for the first 2 weeks. Jeff Stoutland, something's up with him. He's either retiring or they're going to make that public that he lost his responsibilities and you're hiring Cliff Kingsbury as your offensive coordinator. I listen, I'm going to land on that. I'm going to predict. I think Cliff Kingsbury is going to be your OC. I may be completely wrong, but boy, it sure has everything, and it feels like it. And the people he's worked with Mahomes, he's worked with Mayfield, he's worked with Caleb Williams, he's been a head coach, he coaches the style the quarterback is. He makes $7.5 million for the next 2 years. He can pick his job. I heard John on with Xander a couple days ago. You know, it's really odd. Cliff didn't get any run. Well, I went and looked back at his contract a couple days ago, and I knew he had 2 more years left. 2 more years left, and $15 million owed to him by the Cardinals. Why would I take a shitty gig? For what? Okay? For what? Why would you take a shitty gig when you're making $15 million from the Cardinals? I don't have to. As a matter of fact, I wouldn't doubt that he bailed on the Commanders and said, yeah, you know, you want to get rid of me, that's fine. I'm all good. Yeah. Not going anywhere, because you know what he probably said? Dan Quinn ain't the guy. He didn't quit on Jaden Daniels. He probably looked at Dan Quinn and said, wouldn't you quit on that? Because if Dan Quinn doesn't have a good year this year, he's fired. Why would Cliff Kingsbury stick around for a guy that's a lame duck coach maybe? That guy gets out to a shitty start this coming year and they don't win some ball games, you're going to fire the coach? The quarterback's probably going to get hurt again. Why would he do that? He said, let me out now before the Titanic hits the iceberg. Dan Quinn is not on good standing right now. I mean, it's the Titanic. It's hit the iceberg, and you got 2 hours before the boat goes down. Right? I'm staying on that boat. I'm getting me a lifeboat. Sills with Kingsbury, the window just opened up a little higher. Yeah. Listen, everybody sends me over on my X account all these stupid names. I really don't care who they are. Here, who's this? Here's another one. If we are to speculate about the Eagles reduce the opportunity for Jeff Stoughton in the run game and to run the run game, it looks like it was the mini buy. Look at these names. Here's another guy. Colts OC Jim Bob Cooter, who had a second in-person interview with the Eagles for their OC vacancy, worked as a consultant for the team in 21. Nick Sirianni first worked with Cooter in the first job with the Chiefs. Okay? That's Jeff McClain. Sure, I'm okay with that. I don't think he's a bad hire either. Hey, Matt Nagy, Cooter, Kingsbury, that all work. I don't have a problem with all three of them guys. I just think Cliff's the more seasoned and worked with different styles that kind of fit Hurts. And again, this report on Stoutland, isn't it funny? Ask yourself this. Have you ever in your life ever heard anything negative about Jeff Stoutland being reported by a reporter? And how many years has he been here? Let me see. How many years has Stoutland been with the Eagles? How many years has Stoutland been with the Eagles? How many years has he been here? Jeff Stoutland. Anybody? I know it was Chip Kelly time because Chip brought him from Alabama. Maybe from Miami. Since 2013. 13 seasons he's been with the Eagles. And in that time, he's produced 2 Super Bowl wins and 3 appearances. $13 years. Okay? If Kingsbury becomes the OC, then the Eagles are geniuses. They've used all this time gathering information from other coaches as well as learning about potential future coaches. Well, here, ask yourself this, though, okay? And let me finish up that thought. Have you guys ever in your entire life ever heard anything negative about Jeff Stoutland until right now? In those 13 years, has anyone ever said anything negative about the offensive line or Jeff Stoutland? Like, I've only been doing it for 5 going on 6 in April? I've never heard a thing out of that. I've never heard anybody say anything but glowing reviews about Jeff Stoutland. All of a sudden now, there's reports that he was demoted. He's no longer the run game coordinator. And John McMullen thought it was odd that they couldn't talk to him this year. When did that happen? How did you get there? I mean, how did you get there with this? Right? I'm not throwing an opinion in there. I'm asking, how'd you get there with that? And especially, you came off a year where your back went for 2,700 yards. And had one of the most iconic run games of all time. Now the guy's dog shit? And he's demoted? Like, hey, did Nick do that for his boy? To give his boy the best opportunity? And in the process, did he sabotage his team? And maybe this is why the Eagles are pissed off at Nick? Because he demoted Stoutland? Hey, what was the biggest question mark in our post-game or pre-game shows and our weekly shows? Where's the run game? Where's the run game? Where's the run game? What happened to the run game? What happened to the run game? It wasn't the passing game that got effed up because that was bad last year. It was the run game that got screwed up. They sabotaged the run game. Miles Sanders had 1,300 yards rushing. Fourth best rushing attack in the history of the Eagles. Stoutland was demoted and the run game was trash. It's not Stoutland got demoted and the run game improved. Right. That's right. It's not like, you demoted the guy and you got better. You actually got worse. Nick has a team in a weird spot internally. Hey, man, this is really wild. These reports that are coming out now, these are what we call in the media smoke signals. Something's up. Something's up. You just don't have a reputable columnist from the Inquirer. Hey, by the way, something that just comes out of the ether. Hey, Stoutland lost his run game responsibilities. Really? When? Oh, and the media couldn't talk to Jeff Stoutland last year. Huh. Listen to look at this. Let me show you another guy a guy who just doesn't. It's easily explained. For Stoutland to have more focus on the O-line with the amount of injuries. You demoted him from run game coordinator for your offense so he could coach those shitty backups and Brett Toth. Man, you're a Bryce Harper 0 for 28. I mean, Bryce Harper doesn't go through longer stretches of swing and misses than Dumb Reyes. Nick's record is incredible. Then you see him on the sidelines. 23 collapsed and almost fired in 24. And Reyes' hero. My hero. T.O. was. Hey, T.O. said this? That's quarterback. Here's Dumb Reyes. That's my coach. What was the Eagles' run game in 2020 with all those injuries? It wasn't the coaching. It was the injuries in 25. Dude, who were the wide receivers on that 2020 team? The entire football team fell to piss. And then he sabotaged the final game of the year by benching all your players. That wouldn't be a bad thing. I think she's a nice girl. I think M. Reyes, I think she's a wonderful girl. Not a problem. Like a sweetheart. Right? 9-7, 7-9. It's a real record. How you doing? The floodgate is starting to open on Nick. Don't demote Stout after a historic rushing season. More deflecting is what I see. We can't get an OC in here because the organization's ways, they are trying to save face. Sills, this is paving the way. Like starting a fire. So wait a minute. The media wasn't allowed to talk to Jeff because they took a shit on him. All right. Ask why. With the answer, ask why. Oh, no, that was my second topic. What's the number one holdup in the Eagles hiring of an OC? I know that's as bland as you can get, but what is the holdup? What are you waiting for? You've interviewed 18 guys. Think about that. Hey, you've interviewed 8. Have you ever interviewed in your life 18 times for anything? 18 times they've had an interview. John McMullen says this. Hey, that doesn't mean they offered a job. Well, that's even dumber then. I've talked to 18 people and I don't like any of them. What are you waiting for then? Okay. Well, then you're high. Get this. If you've interviewed 18 people, is this fair to say? If you've interviewed 18 people, isn't that a setup for the guy that you're waiting to hire in Cliff Kingsbury? We went through a list and a laundry list. This process has taken so long, and we came up with one name. And the only name that could take this job and this offense to a next level. Cliff Kingsbury. Ladies and gentlemen, after 48 interviews, the Philadelphia Eagles have landed on the guy we wanted 2 years ago, and that includes Kellen Moore. Cliff Kingsbury. Ladies and gentlemen, Eagle fans, Cliff, fly, Eagle, fly. How's that sound? How's that sound? Right? Sirianni got a call plays, then get fired. Yeah, well, they ain't doing that. Would Cliff work for Nick? No. Cliff would be working for Howie and homie, Jeffrey Lurie. Nick could be in the room. I like this play. Yeah, well, I don't. Hey, you know what? This guy makes almost as much money as Nick Sirianni anyway. He makes almost $8 million. This guy makes $7.5 million. Why didn't that guy get interviews? Because he's got a Cardinal contract. People thought that thing was 3 years. I think it was 5 years extension starting in 22. And the Cardinals are still paying that guy. Fantastic agent. Jimmy Sexton, you are a beast. You are a beast. Fantastic, but not happening. So let me ask you this then. You demoted Jeff Stoutland. You're going to turn the play calling over again to a guy that's never called plays. Okay. I'm going to have another fun year in 2026. This will be another fun year. I even told you if you guys win a Super Bowl, I'll shave my head. This year, I'll shave something else. Jim Bob Cooter season. Hey, by the way, I wouldn't have a problem with that. So, how would the dynamic work between Kingsbury and Stoutland? Easy. This is the plays I want to run. This is the plays we're going to run. Okay. And if you don't want to, you can retire. Cooter. My cooter hurts. I got to get a hat. Cooter hurts. You know how they say hurts season? Cooter hurts season. Oh, man. Yeah. What kind of play you running? I'm running that one play called the Cooter Hurts. What's it look like? It's an end around. Oh, my God. We'll have a lot of fun with it. That's for damn sure. Yeah, for M. Reyes, what's a big play in the Cooter hurts Arsenal in the playbook. It's the M. Reyes end around. Oh man. Cleveland Browns are still paying six former coaches and 12 quarterbacks. That's why they're the Browns, my friend. Okay? It's a fake run. Yeah, under the new offense, we're going to have about 10 or 11 fake runs. So we're not really going to. I'll do my best. Oh, my God. Stout may have had the run game taken away, but that wasn't without Laurie's approval. You bet your ass it wasn't. $5 million O-line coach making that kind of money. That's not somebody down low on the food chain like Nick makes when it comes to the general manager and the owner. Nick's third on that list. Hey, guess what? You don't just walk in there and go, how you doing? I'm going to fire a guy on the run coordinator and just go like this. Hey, KP, it's your job now. The Cooter Hurts season's here. My Cooter Hurts season. Let's go. LFG, baby. I want a hat. I want a JAKIB hat that has Cooter season. It's like duck season. It's like Cooter season. Yeah, shit. Holy cow. Big Sills, man. I'm on a heater today, boy. So John McMullen was told by his guy there, Bob Lang, not allowed to talk to Jeff Stoutland. Holy shit. You guys aren't allowed to talk to him. Now I know why. Because they demoted the guy in his run game and they gave it to Bobo Patullo. All of a sudden, all this shit's starting to make sense. Crossing T's, dotting I's. This is what we do here. And what an offseason. Holy Shayuster. Woo, baby. All right. Let's see. By the way, a man who was with John, when somebody pulled this thing here. Hold on. I just learned how to scroll. I didn't know I could go backwards on my scroll here. So let me go to the scroll. Let me pull this bad bitch up here. Hey, Xander. Oh, my God. Remember? Remember when John said it was really wild that we couldn't talk to Stoutland? Dude, that's some good pull there. Without further ado, let's bring our boy in. Big Z! Xander Kraus down here.
What's up, brother? How you living over there?
I don't know. Hey, wait. What? Well, so one of your fabulous viewers and our viewer pulled a poll and said that during the year, John thought it was wild that Jeff Stoutland wasn't accessible to the media. Was that said on your show?
Absolutely, it was said. And, at the time, you don't think of it much because you're just like, all right, they're not talking to Stoutland. They don't talk to position coaches all that much. And now I do wonder if that's a part of it because there used to be – Jeff would never do like press conferences or anything. But John told me there used to be like, he'd see him in the building. You can talk to him a little bit, stuff like that. They didn't get any of that this year. And I do wonder now. I think, in fact, it makes logical and logical sense that would be maybe a reason why. Stoutland, not accessible, right?
You think he's retiring? You think he's retiring next week?
I actually don't. I mean, I don't know. Jeff said he thinks he'll be back, like managing just a run game. So
no, you mean the O-line?
The O-line. That's what I meant. Yeah, sorry. The O-line. Just the O-line. I don't know. It's an interesting setup. I'll say this to everybody.
It up for Kingsbury then?
Yeah, fuck Kingsbury.
Why?
Because this is what I got to ask every Eagle fan. We have a bad offense, all right, last year. And everybody really believes that the best way to fix it is by blowing out Jeff Stoutland, okay? One of the best offensive line coaches maybe in the history of the game. A guy who – wait, where was everybody bitching about the run game when they said history a year ago?
No, I agree.
So everybody thinks that, okay, if Cliff Kingsbury, who hasn't won shit in this fucking league, wants his way – we should blow out Jeff Stoutland. How does that make sense?
Okay, well, you're under the assumption then that what people are saying is that they did this during the year, this last year. You're assuming now, and I happen to agree with you, that they've taken it away now. Because there's reports, Les Bowen just came out and said he thinks it happened in like the mini bye. So you're under the assumption, and I'm with you. I agree. I think they just – hey, have you ever heard any shit talking on Jeff Stoutland in your entire time as an Eagle? I've never heard it. All of a sudden, Jeff McClain's got a story that a guy got demoted who's one of the legendary O-line coaches next to Howard Mudd, Dante Scarnecchi. You put him in those rooms with that guy, all of a sudden now there's a problem with him?
That's what I mean. And look, I'm not here to say that Jeff Stoutland does no wrong. I'm not saying that. He might have to be better. But my only gripe is like, I don't know. It strikes me as like we're all, me, maybe even me included, jumping on like the shiny object instead of the stable object that's been here, and has been consistent. You have one down year in the run game and everyone's like, okay. And I'm not saying Cliff sucks, but what has Cliff done to earn that over what Jeff Stoutland has done?
Oh, as an OC? Okay. I think he's worked with some very successful quarterbacks. I think he's developed one of the greatest quarterbacks in the history of football in Patrick Mahomes. He had a quarterback in Washington when he was the OC that won the Rookie of the Year.
You coached Patrick Mahomes at Texas Tech.
Yeah, and Mayfield.
And are you of the belief that Patrick Mahomes had more development at Texas Tech than he did when he got to the Chiefs with Andy Reid?
Well, funny that Andy Reid didn't know anything about him until he got there. And I'm not saying that there were better.
I don't know. Andy and Brett wanted to trade up for him.
He was a first rounder.
Yeah, they traded up to get him.
Okay, well, he was still the first round pick, right?
Yeah.
You think there's any coincidence that he went to USC and Caleb Williams won the Heisman?
Well, I'm not saying, again, my whole point of this wasn't to say that I don't like Kingsbury. I think Kingsbury's fine. But when it comes to everybody jumping ship on Stoutland because Kingsbury demanded it, that's where I think people are out of hand.
I'm not on that either.
Yeah, I'm not on that at all. I mean, Cliff, all right, you want to call it? Jeff Stoutland's going to be your run game coordinator. Take it or leave it. Go coach in Las Vegas if you want to. I don't really give a shit. Well, that's what I would say.
Let's go.
Okay.
Let's walk. I agree. Let's
wait real quick. Good resume for Cliff. How's 3 Super Bowl appearances with the run game? How's the best offensive line in the last decade? Okay. How's the historic offensive line last year?
Well, then,
I'm sorry, but I'm not won over.
Then why did they, after 6 games, according to Jeff McClain, demote the run game coordinator, Jeff Stoutland? If you believe that report, why would they do that then? If it wasn't for 2 things. I think it's one thing. I think they wanted to give Kevin Patullo every chance and hell to be the best offensive coordinator he can, and they were never just synced up because that had nothing to do with Cliff Kingsbury. If the McClain story's true, that they did it last year, and I'm with you. I think this is done now, and it's been released now for a reason because something's coming up here. Something's coming, man. I feel it too. I think there's something coming up here.
I wonder if it ties back into something that you've been saying for a long time, that Nick Sirianni doesn't have answers. And when everybody was sounding off on the offense and the running game was a big part early in the year, remember how many negative plays they were taking? First downs were terrible.
We talked every week about it.
Maybe Nick Sirianni's way to solve that was in that moment, take it away from Stoutland. It did get a little bit better. So again, my whole point was never that I'm trying to say Jeff Stoutland does no wrong. I just think I would just say be careful what you wish for, because I don't think Cliff Kingsbury is going to come in here and all of a sudden you're going to be living in a 3D dimensional land where everything works and the offense and the run. I don't think it's working like that. So, but it is interesting. Like if he did lose it, I'd like to see where, because there was a couple games where like they did start to run the ball better. They even had over 100 yards in the playoff game rushing the ball. But hey, the running game had a bad year. Is the run game been the crux problem on the offense the last 3 years?
Not 3 years, not at all. And as a matter of fact,
I'm
the
saying
guy was still ninth. The guy was still
what's
ninth.
the consistent though? What's the common denominator?
Yeah.
It's the passing game. So have we evolved to the point as a fan base that Jeff Stoutland's problems in the run game he's now responsible for the passing game, which has sucked for 3 years? I mean, there's not many teams that can keep a great running game consistently in the NFL if they can't ever pass the ball that well. I mean, one of the ways to open up the run game is to pass the ball effectively and vice versa.
Yeah, but run game opens the pass game.
Yeah, but not when it's the only thing you can do. Eventually, that scale tips.
My point would be this then. If you can't get the run game going, that's why the quarterback in the passing game struggled. You could think that way too. You could think that way.
Brother, let me
can't
ask
run the ball, can't throw it.
I agree with you. And I think for most teams that applies. But when you have an Eagles team that's, how do I put this without people having an aneurysm? Below average passing year in and year out, eventually defenses are just going to say this: I'm putting 8 in the box.
Yeah.
And you beat me elsewhere. And that's what you saw this year. You saw guys loaded up, and the offensive line was trying to block more guys. They didn't have enough dudes to make all the blocking. So I think there's a log jam. I'm not saying you're wrong about the run game opening up the pass game. I think there's a log jam. I think the drain is clogged in Philly. And in order for you to open the drain, you have to be able to do more things successfully. I'm not saying you got to be the greatest show on turf, but you have to pose the threat so that it takes some pressure out of the tube, out of the running game, and allows things to breathe a little bit better. I don't think I think defenses have clamped up. I think they know how they want to play the Philadelphia Eagles. They'll allow an occasional shot play to A.J. Brown, and they'll eliminate the running game. They'll make Hurts sit in the pocket and have to beat you from there. And if you can't ever do that, then I think the run game will continue to struggle. But I don't know. I'm just not a fan of all of a sudden the whole fan base. I'm reading it on Twitter. I'm reading it on the JAKIB comments. We go, get Stoutland out of here for Kingsbury. I'm like, whoa. The running game is not the crux problem of this offense.
I'm not there either. No way.
Now, maybe Kingsbury can help the pass game. Maybe that's where there's some merit. But if you're so great, Cliff, and you can open up the pass game, then I trust Jeff Stoutland with the run game.
Commanders were 4th in rushing last year.
That's pretty impressive. I mean, remember, they ran the ball a lot. They had Marcus Mariota playing a lot of games.
Yeah.
They didn't have a high-volume quarterback in there. Jaden didn't play a lot, so there's some context to that. But, yeah, I don't think Cliff is bad. I really don't. I just don't.
I don't think the Cooter guy's bad, and I don't think Nagy's bad.
So, by the way, I don't even know if Kingsbury's in it. There's only 3 guys that I've heard right now. So 3 guys. Here's the update. 3 guys haven't gotten a second interview. Okay? Today, Josh Grizzard got a second interview in person in Philly. That was yesterday, Wednesday in person. Jim Bob Cooter got a second interview. And Mannion, the Mannion guy, got a second interview. All right, so those are your 3 names that have gotten a second interview in Philly. Are we perhaps now the Giants, by the way, want to interview Jim Bob? So
makes sense.
Maybe there's a little bit of okay, now people start to maybe they try and pick this up. I wouldn't be surprised, man, if we get news on a Football Friday, or maybe even tonight.
The reason why Cliff Kingsbury is not bannered around a lot, he's making $7.5 million a year.
Well, he's not there anymore. Didn't he walk away?
He had a contract. Right? He had a 5-year contract with the Arizona Cardinals that started in 22.
That doesn't get nullified when you take an OC job?
Nope.
Only a head coach
Offset
job.
money.
Oh, man. Well, YouTube says no, Cliff Xander. I think he's a strong candidate. I'm just saying, I haven't seen any reports that they've interviewed him.
No.
Yeah, that hasn't even come out once, not even in one interview.
But we all agreed that they were close to inking a deal down 2 years ago before even Cliff.
Yeah.
Or
Kellen.
Yeah.
Kellen was the backup plan.
Kellen was the backup plan. What was the number one thing, Xander, that was the roadblock? It was Stoutland.
Yeah.
So that guy's got another year. It ends in 27, that contract with the Cardinals. He's owed $15 million in the next 2 years. That guy's going to pick his spot and call his putt, dude. So here, help me out on something here, though. You said something interesting. So we're down to 3 who've got 2 interviews. I think the count was up to, am I right? You correct me if I'm wrong. 18 guys they had some type of interest in. I'm not saying they offered anybody. What were they, 17 or 18?
What's that?
Right? Like 17 or 18 different guys that they've kind of had some type of interest, maybe?
Somewhat in there, yeah, somewhere in that range.
Okay, so that amount of interviews tells you what? What's your game plan, dude?
Yeah, it tells you they don't have a leader in the clubhouse. They want to hear from everybody. I thought
That's not a plan.
I agree. But I also wonder this, dude. There's still double-digit teams that need an OC.
Completely.
18 days, 17 days after the end of the regular season for
Ravens and the Giants.
Wait, even more than that. It's like 24 days or 20-something days since the end of the regular season for the teams that didn't make the playoffs. 10 teams still don't have an OC. Now that, while I understand this is concerning for the Eagles, that to me says, boy, these candidates are not that impressive.
No.
I mean, you have 10 teams still looking for an OC, and there's 17 names going around. Is nobody that good? Nobody outside of Mike McDaniel and Brian Dable. Nobody wants to hire any of them? Really?
How many head coaching jobs are open right now?
2. Raiders and who's the other one? Cardinals.
Raiders and Cardinals. You got a whole staff. You got a tool there too. They haven't hired an OC in Baltimore yet. They haven't hired an OC in Miami yet, I don't think.
Who's the head coach in Baltimore?
Jesse Minter. The former DC with the Chargers.
Stupid hire.
I mean, well, they wanted to get away from the Harbaugh tree, and they hire a guy from the Harbaugh tree.
It's a stupid hire. Lamar Jackson. I mean, optimize Lamar Jackson. I mean,
I'm like, man, okay. So here, let me ask you this. So what do you think is the number one holdup?
For the offensive coordinator job?
Yeah, what's the top holdup?
I think it's a conflation of all of these things that we're talking about. I mean, the candidate class doesn't seem like they're very good. The Eagles' job is a complex job because you don't know who's returning, and for who does return, you don't know how good they are. You don't know how much control or say you have in the offense with Nick Sirianni as your head coach, whether that's from him or upstairs. We don't really know. We know that the owner is emotionally reactive, and you see multiple guys who come in here as a first-year coordinator and get fired. The quarterback is, a question just in that his style of offense isn't the most common style of offense. It's risk averse. They don't push the ball too much. It's been successful, but it's also not something that you get all super hyped up to go and coach. I think that's a big factor. I really think it's a lot of things. I do, and we'll see ultimately where they end up. But if I had to put it on one thing, I mean, it's Nick, but I don't know if it's Nick directly in that Nick's setup. I don't think is instituted entirely by Nick. If people understand what I mean by that, it's Nick, but again, Nick is sitting there like a hangman. If he makes one wrong move, boom, his head's chopped off. So I don't is that from him? I don't know.
Follow me here though. Is it Nick or Stoutland?
I don't know. When you get down to these candidates, like these
guys here,
yeah, I don't think it's Stoutland with them. I don't think Jim Bob well, maybe he is. I don't know. I don't think Mannion and Grizzard are coming in saying you get rid of Stoutland. Maybe Kingsbury believes that, and hey, him having that ego is okay. Maybe that's
or McDaniel or a Dable or any of those guys. Now remember, hey, let me ask you something about that. Did Brian Dable work with Jeff Stoutland at Alabama?
No, Jeff Stoutland was already here.
Okay. He was already because he came with
Jeff
Chip.
Stoutland, I believe, came here with Chip Kelly.
He did.
Yeah.
He came. Yeah. Now, I don't know. Did he come to the Philadelphia Eagles from the University of Miami, or did he come from Alabama? Because he was
came
at
from
Miami.
Alabama. I'm pretty sure from Alabama. He was at Miami. I remember. I think that was like 2010. Yeah, so he was Miami's O-line coach from 2007 to 2010. Then he was the interim head coach when who got fired in 2010?
Al Golden.
Al Golden. Then he was the Alabama O-line coach, and then he came to Philly.
Okay.
And by the way, he's been the run game coordinator in Philadelphia since 2018. 3 Super Bowl appearances with that run game. Again.
Well, what do you believe with that? Do you believe that report they took it away from him?
I don't know.
I wonder what John thinks of that. That's pretty big news, dude. That Jeff McClain would just throw that out there, that he lost his responsibilities of being a run coordinator. That's just not something. That's not low hanging.
Yeah, I don't think there's any candidate. I don't think there's any candidate that I would do that for. I don't even think I would have done that for McDaniel or Dable.
I wouldn't have.
I mean, what have they accomplished that makes you feel better about them than Jeff Stoutland?
Dude, Bill Callahan, Jeff Stoutland, guys like that, I'm not moving off them dudes. No way. Let me ask you this question here. Who could the Eagles ill afford to lose more? Stoutland or Fangio?
Stoutland. They win with their defense. Their defense is more important right now. I mean, that's their method to winning games right now is by having great defense. That's okay.
Those 2 guys are the 2 most important coaches outside of the head coach in the building. Those 2 dudes right there.
Who?
Are the formula for the Eagles' success.
Vic and Jeff?
Yes.
Yeah, I do. I mean, I can't say entirely. We did go to a Super Bowl before Vic showed up.
Okay.
You know? So can't say entirely, but I think what Vic has done is Vic has gotten the most out of players that, you don't always expect to get a lot out of. I mean, Jalen Hunt, Reed Blankenship, Cooper and Quinion come in and are like the best freaking rookies we've seen in how long? I mean, both of them all pros. That's insane, dude.
Yeah, completely.
2 guys you drafted last year get all pros. I mean, it's unbelievable.
And you made a guy. You made a guy from scratch. Like you just threw him in a melting pot and said, let me put this in, let me put this in. And out comes Zach Bond. You're like, holy shit, dude. I mean, so next week, the news that, do you think there's anything coming, anything pending? Do you think they get the OC job by Friday? Or do you think next week this thing's going to roll into Super Bowl week?
I'm ready for them to get this guy hired, man. I mean, what? I don't know. I guess at this point, I think Philly 500 actually made a good point yesterday. Like maybe we're like a little too focused on like how long it takes as opposed to getting the right candidate. Like I don't know. Does it really? How much does it change? I mean, we're how long? We're 8 months from the season. I mean, we got time here. So what's the 29th versus February 5th? I don't know.
Well, here, I think an offensive coordinator's approach to a game and how you're going to win games. Don't you think Howie wants to know the kind of personnel to build the offense with? Is AJ part of that? If not,
listening anyway. Come on.
Well, I mean, well, then why hire an offensive coordinator?
Well, Vic doesn't get to pick it. Vic
you're
doesn't
not going to try to match up the talent with it.
You know how I always tell you Jeffrey Lurie's got PTSD from Chip Kelly? Well, Howie's got it from Doug and other previous coaches. All right. He's not letting anybody pick their players. Vic doesn't get to pick their players. I'm telling you right now. Nobody's picking their players for Howie. Now, maybe you're right when it comes to style, and figuring out how to replace the changes. But, a far bigger concern to me is what are the replacement plans for Dallas Goedert, for A.J. Brown, for Lane Johnson? Is Cameron Jurgens and Landon Dickerson, are they stiffs or are they back to being good players? I don't, those to me are far more important than the coordinator, but you still got to make the hire.
You guys, turned around and you paid Nick Sirianni reportedly between $14 and $15 million. You gave him a bunch of money. He's got this really great record. Hey, man, fuck it. Why don't you just name him the OC?
He doesn't want it. That's why.
He doesn't want it.
No, he doesn't want to call plays.
So I'd rather turn it over to another guy that I'm going to have questions whether or not if you hire a guy like you said.
No, that's not a fair assessment. The only way to be a good head coach isn't by calling plays. That's not the only way to do it.
I didn't say that. I said, why doesn't he? He's supposed to be an offensive guru. Why doesn't he call plays?
The job is a lot more demanding than just calling plays.
Well, wait. He's called plays in the past, though, before.
Yeah.
Why would you turn it over to somebody that's outside the building that you don't know and may have not had a relationship with? And this is your team. Aren't you more concerned? I mean, if you're a control freak and you want to see your team have success, why wouldn't you do it? Hey, Jay, you don't ask other people to do your work for you, do you?
I get what you're saying, but, if I'm a CEO and there's a role you can, get stuff off my plate so I can manage the big stuff. That's how most businesses operate. Most guys who run businesses don't want to be doing all the bullshit.
Well, he doesn't do anything on defense. He's got very little say over there. I mean,
this is how I see it, and maybe I'm wrong. I might be wrong. Coordinators and position coaches work in the business, in the team. The coach works on the team. Okay, you get the big picture, and then you got the things that make the big picture run. So I've always viewed it as not a bad thing to have now. You're going to have to live with more discontinuity, if that's a word, the opposite of continuity. When you don't have a play calling head coach, you do. I mean, look around. How many there's 13 new offensive coordinators just this year. So if you don't have a play calling head coach, yeah, you're going to have to live with some turnover. But that's part of being a good team, unless you're Kyle and Sean. And I'll remind everybody, those are good offenses, but they have their own problems as well. I mean, Sean McVay is arguably one of the reasons that the Rams are not playing right now, because he doesn't manage the game very well. So, be careful what you wish for. I don't think it's the only way to do it. So I have no problem with Nick being a CEO style head coach.
Yeah, but I think that works when you empower people. I think when you are,
I don't think the empowering part comes from Nick, though. That's been happening here way long.
Okay, well, then this is what we talk about then with how the production sputters at times. If you're not, that's great what you just said. If you have that mentality that you want to overlook everything, well, shit, okay. If you're overlooking everything and that's your job and you're overlooking it, and you're not empowering those people like Jeff Stoutland or Kevin Patullo because you got a higher voice telling you what to do, that's not really a job, dude. That's just like you're being a lackey because you're being told what to do and you're not being told to be correct. I mean, that's like telling me I want you to paint this painting this way and not to your eye and to your art. I mean, you have to.
I just think you're leaving out something key in Philly, man. It doesn't work like that here. I agree with you, but to put that on Nick to me is naive. They blew Doug Peterson out because the guy wanted an OC. They fought over it for 2 weeks. Doesn't everybody remember this? They fought over the position coaches and the coordinators on the team after 2020 for 2 weeks. When Doug never gave in, they fired him. That's the precedent the organization has set, not Nick. So I think Nick is just playing the political game. I really do.
I want to bring something up to you about that Dungy story and that Bill Polian story on that Hall of Fame with Belichick. So Bill Belichick was, as we know now, 72 hours it's been since the whole thing. You find it odd that Bill Polian and Tony Dungy are voters for the Hall of Fame and that the biggest holdup, and supposedly by Armando and all these guys, that those guys stood up and were in and against Bill Belichick being on first ballot. That includes Tony Dungy. Stood up in that room and were against it when in 2014, the Colts filed a complaint against the NFL for Deflategate. And Tom Brady was suspended 4 games the following season. How do those guys not recluse themselves? Because they had an ass with the Patriots and Belichick.
It's a joke.
I mean, these guys, you're either two things, Xander, here in this case. You're either an asshole or you are bitter and you're jealous. I mean, this goes back. Bill Polian saying he don't remember. Well, bro, then if you can't remember, well, then you should have a vote.
He came off like such an asshole. I thought Mike Hill, who was on your show in the 3:30 hour, I mean, I could just record what he said and just play it back. That's exactly how I thought about it. I mean, it's a disgrace to the game that these people are such a big part of. I mean, it doesn't even make sense. It's ridiculous, quite frankly. But look, this isn't uncommon, folks. Jealousy, greed, these human emotions, these human tendencies are at play in every realm of human endeavor. It's a fact, and you see it here. And I thought one of the most meaningful things that Mike said too was reminding everybody that there's a difference between being a Hall of Famer and being a first ballot.
Oh, completely.
Hall of Fame guys are introduced as Hall of Famers. First ballot guys are introduced as first ballot guys.
Game changers.
They stiffed him because they're jealous or whatever the reason might be. And I don't even like Belichick that much. I really don't. I think he comes off as an asshole. But the dude is an amazing coach and is more successful than any of them. So I think it's pretty sad. I mean, you look at
what they did was they hurt history.
Agreed. It'll come back to bite them. Bill will have to live with it, but ultimately it'll come back to bite them.
You hurt history, and you really, I mean, personally, I think Belichick and the Patriots, I think they broke the Hall of Fame. The Hall of Fame had to basically come out and throw out love for the voters. And by the way, I feel bad for some of the voters because some of the voters, again, at the end of the day, some of the voters are like, hey, don't put me in there with them. Because how many times has Jason Cole and all the people explained to you the process? The process is flawed because you get one vote. And I can see why people went with L.C. Greenwood and Roger Craig. I can, because that's the last chance they're going to get, Xander, at a chance at being Hall of Famers. But my take was this.
Don't go Howard Balzer on me.
Dude.
I never seen a guy dance more than that.
I was very disappointed yesterday in Howard Balzer.
I mean, that dude danced like I'd never seen somebody dance. No, and by the way, I don't know this for sure. I don't know this for sure. But my opinion,
he voted
that guy didn't vote for Bill Belichick.
You bet. I told Jimmy Johnson that. And he goes, he believes he didn't vote for him either. And I'm like, man. I even asked him. He goes, I'll let you know.
Cole, man. The more I learn and the more I listen to people and the more I get introduced to the more I like Jason Cole. I mean, he's so his way, but he's got such a good way of looking at most things. And the amount of times I've heard Jason Cole, have a personal issue or dislike something about somebody, but shelf it because he understands what he's actually doing. And then you hear, some other shit, and you're just like, man. But whatever. I'm a big fan of Jason Cole. That was one of my takeaways. That I like Jason Cole. He might be the best Hall of Fame voter of them all.
Hey, let me tell you, man. I've known him for 25 years since he was covering the Dolphins, and I've known him and he's that dude. And most of you guys in here thought he was a bagel worker. The guy owns 4 shops, and he's got
When he was on a couple weeks ago, I felt like jumping on and telling him, Sileo's not going to drive to you in Florida. He's like, you got to come to me. I'm like, all right, Jason, you're not going to see Sileo, bro. You're not going to see Sileo. Yeah, Sileo. I chauffeured Sileo from the airport. Guy was walking on the train tracks. He had no idea where the hell he was. Philly Airport was too much for Sills to handle.
It was. It
really was. I mean, you were like, holy shit.
I'm in a blue fucking truck. Well, I don't see it.
And then you get in the truck. I got the seat kicked all the way back. Fucking big sales loads in.
Hey, let's do some supers here, man. Let's do them here. Let's go.
I tell you what, man. How many more days does this go?
I think it goes next week. I think I think they're going to want to do this Super Bowl week. So I think they'll do it when the team showed up. Media. I say Tuesday. Well, yeah, that's a good one. We should do
Tuesday.
I say Tuesday. Tuesday. What day do you got?
Give me Money Monday. Give
Money
me Money Monday, baby.
Money Monday. All right. A Money Monday. I'm gonna go.
Now you know what they're gonna do. I got some bunch of shit going on this weekend I gotta deal with. All right. Shit that I don't want to do, but I gotta do. I'm gonna be in the middle of something. And there's the notifications are gonna come. Boop, Eagles hire and be like, damn it, I gotta get the laptop out, I gotta get on, and I gotta start streaming to the great people of JAKIB Nation.
Oh,
all right, here's Kyle. Sills, how would the dynamic work between Kingsbury and Stoutland? They're going to neuter Jeff.
Yeah. They're going to
work.
Like
they neuter everybody. That's their solution. Neuter.
They would work. And, hey, Kellen Moore, he changed his style of coaching. He changed it.
And then he blew out of here as fast as he possibly could.
Dude, he took the shittiest NFL job he could find, and he got it. He goes, give me that job.
He's doing a good job. I never viewed Kellen Moore as like a head coach type of guy.
He did a great job.
He did a pretty good job there year one. Let's see.
Bro, when he went into Tampa when they had nothing to play and they won that game with Tyler Shuck, I ripped the Bucks a new one. I said, you guys didn't have so much to play for, and that Saints team showed up with nothing to play for, and they won. I thought it was a great – he won a lot of games down the line there, man. You know what? And Tyler Shuck, guess who the all-rookie quarterback was? It was him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wasn't a very good year for the rookie quarterbacks, was it?
No. Hey, by the way, that's a good point. If you were a team right now that needed a quarterback, would you draft – if you're the Raiders, would you draft Fernando Mendoza or would you go get Mac Jones? It's making you think, though.
Yeah, but here's why I said Mendoza. That organization needs a change of life. It doesn't just need to change a quarterback. You know, if I'm the Vikings, I am nonstop calling the Niners about Matt. If I'm the Vikings, nonstop. That's the guy, because that team doesn't need to change a culture. That team needs a more competent
Steelers, I call that too.
Steelers, another great one. Yep, that's another good one. Boy, I didn't even think of that. That's a good one.
But Mac Jones, having gone through the hurt in the NFL of being blown out, when you go into Las Vegas, you got to remember, man, you're going into an organization that has been failing for decades. You got a culture in that building of bad. You need a guy with a strong backbone in there. I'm not saying Mendoza doesn't have it, but bro, Mac Jones has been through some. He's been through some shit. He was expected to be He was expected to be Drake May.
You're right. He's been through a lot of shit. I mean, I like Mendoza a lot.
I like that character.
Nothing can prepare you for the gauntlet of what you're going through when you're a number one overall pick. You know,
no way, nothing.
Here's Shady. Ask why. With that answer, ask why. Keep doing that. It all leads to the quarterback. No, I mean, in some regards, he's the quarterback of the offense.
I think it's more of the culture. What Xander says. I think the quarterback.
Yeah, but I don't think you don't just take Jalen out of the conversation, and this applies to every offense in the NFL. You know, you don't talk about offenses and not include the quarterback.
No, but I think it's
part about Mac. You know what I mean? It's
no, but I think it's part of the pieces to the puzzle, though. That's what I'm saying. It's part of the puzzle pieces here, but I don't think it's the one centerpiece that's in the conversation. I think there's so many other things to this puzzle. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he's just one of like 5 or 6 things that you have to deal with if you're going to get that OC gig.
Yeah, I agree with that. All right, here's Philip. Don't forget the season Miles Sanders had. Yeah, 1,400.
Yep.
1,300, whatever it was.
13. He had the 4th best rushing attack in Eagle history, and you blow the guy out in what Les Bowen is saying in 6 games last year.
Yeah, 12.
How did that make sense? I mean, if that report is true, You fired him in the mini bye from being the offensive run coordinator. Man, I'm just not. I don't know. That story just doesn't make sense. One of the greatest offensive line coaches of all time. You just tell him to take a seat? He's making $5 million a year? Hey, bro, that came from That came from Jeffrey Lurie. That didn't come from Nick Sirianni. Sitting a $5 million coach? Yeah. No way.
Here's
no
18.
way.
Also, why Sirianni contract still unknown? Isn't known. Fishy.
Some organizations post them, some don't. Steelers let you know.
Eagles are like the Gestapo, dude. They're not telling us shit.
Yeah, they're not. Look, we're just finding this out now about Stoutland.
Sills, be honest. Do you think Stout is pissed? I do.
I think you'll find out next week. How about this? Not next week. You'll find out when the coordinator's hired. If it's Cliff Kingsbury, probably. If it's not, you mean to tell me you're not going to have Jeff Stoutland as your offensive line coach? No way, man. No fucking way.
I think McLean's right. I think he's coming back. Well, by the way, if Jeff Stoutland retires, Lane Johnson's not going to come back.
No.
No, they came here together.
I thought you said something interesting today. You said that there's no way Vic Fangio retiring because he would have let the Eagles know before before Christian Parker took that Cowboy gig. And I don't believe Vic would have allowed him to walk out of the room if the Eagles had known that.
I think the Cowboys got one in him. I do. I think that guy's a stud.
Yeah.
Christian Parker. I think they got one.
He's going to improve their football team.
Here's Philip. What you're saying makes sense, Sills. And if that is the case, this looks horrible on Stiff Nick for trying to help out his buddy after how great Stout's been.
What I said if they did demote Jeff Stoutland in the year and they wanted to give Kevin Patullo the best opportunities, Andrew, to become the best offensive coordinator he can be, so that he could be in charge of the offensive run game. How many times did you hear in the press conferences when the coordinators were talking? He was talking about the run game. He didn't talk about Jeff Stoutland. He was talking about it. So if Nick took those responsibilities away from him to give KP the best opportunity, I mean, don't you find that to be a small disaster? Now, you think they got better maybe after they demoted him. Is that right?
Yeah, but I don't think it was on Stout. I don't.
Do you believe the report?
Yeah, I do. Because we've all seen the tendency of Nick to not have answers.
Yes.
And whether it's on him or it's not on him, I don't know. But we have seen that tendency. There's a lack of ideas when things get stuck and how to get them unstuck. And the running game is a big problem. So, it doesn't surprise me that Nick's solution would be to just change the coach. So I don't know. Who knows, man? I'm not a big fan of the whole thing, but
no doubt. Guys, we appreciate you. Please hit the like button.
Here's Cal. I think we might have got this. If Cliff does good, he leaves, we're screwed either way. Here's Mr. Hill.
Let's see if he gets in the conversation here.
I think people love Cliff a little more. All right, he's good, but I think people are a little high on him.
I think his resume is second to none. I think they're better than any guy that was available. I mean, what is Mike?
You think you take Cliff over Mike?
What is Mike?
Well, why didn't more NFL teams? Cliff's available.
Because the money he's making. He's making $7.5 million. He doesn't have to make a choice. He's got options, like John says. I don't need a job, dude.
He didn't take the best jobs, though.
He took a
head coaching job. If he had so many options, he would take the best job.
He had a head coaching job, and he had a first-round pick and a number 1 overall pick in Jaden Daniels.
I'm saying right now, why doesn't he have a job?
He doesn't want one. He's going to find the best one for him.
You don't think that was the Chargers or the Bills?
He's making $7.5 million. I don't need to sit there and kiss someone's ass. Dude, he's got $15 million owed to him in the next 2 years. What are you going to do? Take some job in Tennessee? Like
I'm a
Brian
worker.
Dable?
I like to work. I couldn't sit on my. If I sit on my ass, I'll go crazy. I'll go categorically insane.
$15 million, dude.
I still got to do shit.
A lot of Corvettes.
I still got to do shit. I don't want to sit on my ass. I can't sit on my ass. I go crazy.
15. That's my daughter. My daughter has busy hands. She can't sit still. She can't sit still.
All right, we got that one. All right, we got them all.
All right.
Thanks, everybody.
Dude. Day 18. Interview 18. The saga continues.
Look at Catch. Cliff is smart and single. What does that have to do with it? I guess he's thinking that he doesn't have to make a decision for the wife. That sounds like a Catch comment. That's my boy Catch.
Oh my God.
Catch, that's a very Catch comment. Catch XRP. Catch is loading up on XRP. He ain't worried about any women.
18 interviews and
Catch, I used to own XRP when it was about, I don't know what, 10 cents. Yeah, my dumbass sold it like a dumbass.
How much is it now?
I don't know, probably like $3.
Hey, it was a penny stock? Okay.
It's not a stock, it's a crypto.
Okay. What's the
XRP
trading
price? It's 181 right now. It went down a little bit. It was up to 3 for a little while. Yeah, should I load up some? Yeah, I had it for a while. Down now, 180. All right, maybe I'll load up. I got some Bitcoin now, Catch. I got Bitcoin.
18.
All right, here we go.
18 interviews. Day 18. This is like a saga. God,
Wait, Mr. Hill says we didn't read his super. Oh, here we go. Mr. Hill, sorry, dude. Zay, I agree with your take on Stoutland. I would like to see Cliff because he could help Jalen Hurts with RPOs. It's fair. He helped Jaden Daniels a lot. He didn't help Kyler Murray.
He helped Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams and Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, I guess Kyler Murray's the one outlier. Kyler Murray stinks. I wouldn't want to coach that guy either.
He got him $48 million.
That's true. I think it's 52. I don't think it's 48. I think it's higher than that.
Hey, and by the way, get this. They were 10th in passing and they were 10th in rushing when they won 11 games. When he was the head coach. The Cardinals were 10th in passing and 10th in rushing when he was the head coach. That's not bad, dog.
Yeah. YouTube says, haven't read mine. YouTuber, what are you talking about, YouTube? Yeah, YouTube. I think you've been making shit up, dog. I don't got a super from you. I'm looking at all my supers right now. I don't see a damn super from you. Yeah, Jones. That's a snake comment right there.
Mac
He's
Jones.
Trying to get him. For who?
I'm taking Mac Jones, and I'm taking him with the Pittsburgh Steelers.
I like that. Do you think it's becoming more attractive for teams to just kind of pick up a secondary market guy?
Yep.
I mean, look at the Super Bowl. Sam Darnold.
Yep. A rookie quarterback on a rookie deal.
Well, that's what you're fighting against. You can be the Patriots. Wait, no. You can. It's literally the two ideas. The Patriots, a rookie quarterback on a rookie contract in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And then the journeyman quarterback that you sign in the market, you know.
Nobody's paying. There's no $50 million quarterback in the game. I mean, that's crazy. 9 of the 10 quarterbacks that are fit. Jalen Hurts officially now 11th. And the highest paid quarterbacks in the league. He's 11th.
It's crazy, man. It's crazy.
And it's just 2 years ago, he was number 1 for about, a week? About a week, right? All right, dude. I can't wait.
Tuesday, your official prediction?
Yeah, Tuesday. Tuesday at, when do I go on? 2.
Taco Tuesday?
Yeah, 2. 2 on.
Oh, no, they're not giving you that.
2 on.
They're not giving you that. They're not giving you that courtesy.
Yeah, 2 p.m. Eastern. The Eagles will officially name themselves a brand new offensive coordinator. And I'm going to go on and out. I'm going to go I'm going to go out on the limb, and I'm going to call it Cliff Kingsbury.
So why do you think why do you think Cliff walked away from Washington?
Because Dan Quinn's a fucking dead man walking. Why would you want to stay? You think if that guy gets out to 4 losses or he's 2-4, they're firing his ass. He doesn't have stability there. Why would you stay there? Dude, you're missing the $7.5 million. That's options. You don't have to take anything. You got another year. It ends at the end of the 27 season. So he's got another freaking year of this. I mean, bro, what are you going to – I'm saying I'm going to make $3 million potentially as an offensive coordinator, or the Cardinals still pay me $7.5. I'm making triple the money. Let me go take that shitty Titans offensive coordinator. Yeah. Let me go take the Raider OC job, right? Die there.
Oh, man.
I'm not taking any of that jobs, man.
All right, here we go.
I'm gonna sit in Bel Air, California.
I'm not.
Not me either.
Yeah, you will.
Not Bel Air.
Well, I don't even know what Bel Air is.
Bel Air, California. It's like Hollywood. It's like Beverly Hills and shit like that.
So it's the stiffs and the stuffies.
Stiffs and all them guys. Yeah,
it's the stuffies. You know.
Yeah.
If you don't have a certain watch on, they won't talk to you.
Yes. I'm more of a Seiko, South Philly kind of guy.
Yeah.
I'm gonna wear a Seiko. Yeah.
Oh,
Malibu's
man.
cool, though, man. I like Malibu. Yeah. All right. Well, hey. So Jalen, I heard you talking about money. Jalen Phillips.
Yeah, I'm not paying him that. John's like 25 large. No way.
Tennessee's paying him.
All right, good. Pay him. I'm not paying him. I don't want to pay him that.
So that means you're taking an edge number 1, right?
If we need to. Or I'm trading for Max Crosby with A.J. Brown. You tell me.
A.J. Brown. 2.
A.J. Brown in a 1 or A.J. Brown in a 2? Is that too much?
No. Wait. A little bit. A.J. Brown.
Yeah. A.J. Brown in a 3.
A.J. Brown in a 3 for Max Crosby for Fernando Mendoza.
Oh, you're gonna give Mendoza a perfect on-ramp to the NFL.
And guess who the coach is going to be?
Who?
Clint Kubiak.
Oh, wow. That's going to be perfect.
That's what you do, right? So you bring Crosby in. He's making 28. That's worth it. He's worth that money. Wow. Max Crosby and Jalix Hunt as your 2 ends. And your 2 tackles in the middle are.
I know you like Phillips because he's a Miami guy, and you're always going to be loyal to your guys, which I respect. But
he ain't 25.
Josh Sweat got 18.
He ain't better.
I'm sorry, Sweat double digit. Yeah.
Sorry, John. He ain't better than Josh Sweat.
Dude, and by the way, 23, he had an Achilles tear.
Yeah.
24, he had an ACL tear.
Yeah. He got banged up this year a little bit in the beginning of the year. I mean, yeah, I'm not paying him $25 million. Drew Rosenhaus seems to think that there's going to be a large market for him. He's ranked number 4 right now as a free agent. You know who's getting some run? Kobe's starting to get run in free agent market.
Yeah, I could see him getting like 8 mil, 9 mil.
Yep. Guess where? Guess where?
That wouldn't surprise me.
Guess
that
where?
Wouldn't surprise me. Oh, where? You know?
49ers.
Oh, it's so funny you said that. That's exactly what I was thinking.
49ers.
That's a perfect fit for him. Oh, man, him and Fred Warner.
49ers in Seattle.
I don't think they should let him go. I get it. We got a first-round pick. We got Zach Bond. I get it. I don't like letting guys go that have an impact that's greater than the game of football, because there's a lot more that goes into the game than just playing between the lines. Because if that weren't the case, then the most talented team would win every year. But that's not how it goes.
So then you were against Milton Williams leaving.
At the time, I didn't think Milton had as big of a locker room presence as a guy like Nakobe does.
I agree.
Milton was more understated a little bit. He didn't.
He grew more up there, didn't he? This year, he
did.
grew more. He did.
I'm really happy for him, man. He was a great dude. He came from a really awesome family. I don't know if anybody remembers the video that went around, like, of his family celebrating when he got drafted, 3rd-round pick out of Louisiana Tech. I mean, what a dope story. Those are the stories I think that are the best in football. As a guy like Milton Williams, I mean, that's a great freaking. And Jalix Hunt's going to be another great story. He's our new Milton Williams.
Do you remember when we had Skip Holtz on, who coached him at Louisiana Tech? Yeah. Remember, he was on the UFL, and he said that what a great guy he is and all this and that. I mean, hey, Mr. Hill, this is a good one here, Z. Cheer up. We get Cliff A.
You want me to cheer up? Cheer up. Mr. Hill, what do we have to cheer up about?
18 interviews.
Fucking cheering up.
18 interviews
I
later.
thrive in misery, Mr. Hill. I love being miserable. I saw this clip of a guy. I forget his name. Oh, Steve Schwartzman. Does anybody know who Steve Schwartzman is? He's a big hedge fund guy now. He grew up in Abington, about 10 minutes from where I live. The stadium at Abington High School is Schwartzman Stadium. And it's a little high school stadium. It's named after him. He's the founder, if I'm not mistaken, or no, that's a different guy. The founder of Bose went to Abington too. But Schwartzman's this really rich dude. There's this video of him. He says, if you want to be an entrepreneur in life, you better be in love with suffering, because you're going to suffer. And boy, if that ain't the truth, I don't know what to tell. I don't know. I don't know. That's it. So you gotta love to be miserable. Mr. Hill, I will not cheer up. Thank you very much.
Let me just tell you this. The guy who owns the Carolina Panthers, David Tepper, is the ultimate hedge fund guy. You know that, right? I mean, with like Oracle and all them guys. The guy, I believe he's the richest owner in the league. David Tepper, he has no patience for shit. I mean, none.
He's not a very good
hedge fund guys. No patience.
He tries to manage the team like it's a hedge fund. It doesn't work very well.
Yeah. He's one of the richest. I think he's either second or third in the NFL. I know the Waltons. Stan Kroenke's up there. Mark Davis is not rich. It's one of the poorer franchises. Jeffrey Lurie's up there. But yes, this guy David Tepper, man, he has got freaking buku money. Made money at Oracle and all them other places. Those tech.
I'm going to make my prediction for who the OC is.
Okay. Cooter Hurts.
I think it could be this Manning guy.
Guys never call plays?
Nah, he's not my official prediction. I can't pick him. How the fuck am I going to pick him? He doesn't check any of the boxes people want him to check.
Well, then he's perfect.
Give me Cooter Hurts.
Hey, then he's perfect, right? If he's never
Cooter, no Hurts and Cooters, and don't let your Cooter hurt.
Oh, God.
Oh, man. Hey, Catch. No, don't be hurting too many Cooters, Catch. Come on, man.
Here's one. Depends on
Matt Nagy, too. I do. I think it's Matt Nagy. I really do.
On Nick sabotages. Why would Nick sabotage his team? He's trying to win. He's not trying to sabotage. Now, I don't get – hey, dude, I can't wait for you to talk to John in the morning about this whole thing with Jeff Stoutland being the mower.
Yeah, I got it written down. I'm going to ask him. I also want to know who took over.
Yeah. Who
was it? Jeff Stoutland got the motor. Was it Petula?
Or was it Nick?
Yeah, maybe. Remember how many times Nick alluded to having to do more in the offense as the year went on?
Ooh. Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
He was the run game coordinator.
You got to be careful what you say to Sileo, because he'll just take it and just wrap it up in a bow and fucking re-gift it.
So wait a minute. So the pass game guy was KP, and the run game coordinator was Nick Sirianni. Oh, my God. Perfect. That's why they had no answers. That's why the offense looked like shit. Bang! You just nailed it. Thank you, Z. I got a brand new one now. Nick
Good,
was
wrap that sucker up. Wrap that sucker up and put it under the Christmas tree.
Yeah. Oh,
All right, dude.
All right, dude. Hey, this is a gift that just keeps on giving. Day 19 tomorrow.
This team is, I know people, love to bash Mark Holmes when he comes on, but he's right. We're like the Cowboys now, but we win. That's the difference. We win, but we are the Cowboys in that there's always some shit to talk about.
3 weeks the Eagles haven't. So
yeah, but 10 teams, dude.
Yeah, but February 19th you named Patullo.
That's because they knew he was going to be it before. Remember the article came out Super Bowl week at Media Row? He's going to be the next day.
Took you 10 days.
I remember the interview we did on Media Row at the big podiums they set up for the Super Bowl.
It took you 10 days to name him.
That's because they knew.
Okay, this is 3 weeks. They don't know, so they don't have a plan.
I think they have a plan. Maybe they don't, but maybe it's because everybody's just stiff.
I'm sailing out to sea, and I don't really know how to get to Cuba, but I'm going to fucking wing it.
Sometimes you got to do that in life.
Hey, I know. Really? I get it, dude.
It sounded like my beautiful lady. She's like, I got to get more off my mind. And then she's like, what are we doing 11 Saturdays from now? I don't fucking know. I'm like worried about today. That's it.
That's what my wife says. My wife doesn't give a shit.
News. Breaking news. Sean Mannion. I just called it. Tell me it's Sean Mannion. No way. Yes, baby. Woo! I fucking nailed it.
Hold on.
I nailed it. Boom.
Sean
Boom.
Mannion. Hold on.
All right. Is this a good hire?
Sean Manning, another guy who's never called plays.
Oh, I got to get John up for 6 o'clock.
Hold on here. Hold on.
Oh, man. Sean Mannion, you are either about to be a head coach or you will never coach in the National Football League again.
Is it confirmed?
It's confirmed, dude. He's hired. It's done and dusted. It is done. You want to get John on, brother?
Yeah, let's get John on.
Let me text John.
Yeah. IP doesn't have it yet. So Adam Schefter.
Trust me, it happened. Breaking news, baby.
Adam Schefter. Here it is. Eagles are hiring Packers quarterback coach Sean Mannion as their offensive coordinator. Mannion interviewed twice for the Eagles OC job and will now be moving on from Green Bay. My phone's blowing up. My phone is now blowing up. Jalen Hurts play callers since 2000. Doug Peterson, Shane Steichen,
Sean Mannion.
Ryan Johnson.
Former quarterback. Hey, maybe this is a good hire. You get a former quarterback, all right, who can help Jalen Hurts maybe, in certain areas of managing the offense in different ways. Bring some new ideas in. A guy who quarterback coach for Jordan Love this year. Jordan Love had a good year, man. How many times did I tell you this year, Jordan Love's having a good year, and nobody wanted to put him in the top list. He was playing good football. I don't think this is an awful hire. I really don't. I'm happy. You know what? I'm happy. I'm happy because the Eagles didn't listen to everybody else. I was worried that they were going to not hire somebody who might be good because they were worried that he didn't call plays before. Screw that. If a guy's got great potential and great upside, hire him.
Let's see what jobs he's had.
Silly is about to rip this guy.
Oh, wait. I just want to see who he is.
You're about to rip him.
Packers offensive assistant. That's not a job. Green Bay present quarterback coach. Well, the history of the quarterback coach, Andy Reid was a quarterback coach. Joe Philbin was a quarterback coach. The one former coach of the San Francisco 49ers, Steve, what's his name? He was the head coach of the 49ers. He was a quarterback coach. Let me read this guy here. What he's done here.
I guys, I kind of like it. I kind of like it. I kind of like it.
Well, he's never going to be a play caller in a place like that because of Matt LaFleur. But again, he was
an active player as recently as 2023 with the Seahawks and the Vikings. Now he's the OC of the Philadelphia Eagles.
Man, he's got very limited experience.
Sean Mannion's coaching rise has been meteoric, and a good story here on how it got started. He's a fast riser. The story behind him is that Matt LaFleur coached Mannion with the Rams. After the 2023 season, the Bears wanted to interview Mannion for a coaching job. So Mannion set up a call with LaFleur and asked if he could hear his pitch to prepare him for the interview. LaFleur was so impressed with his presentation that he basically hijacked him. Mannion interviewed with the Bears, then came to Green Bay, and LaFleur hired him on the spot. I think most Packer fans would prefer Mannion as offensive coordinator over Adam Stenavich for whatever that's worth. That's from Marquise Eversole.
Well, he's pretty limited.
Yeah, I'm going to get John on here, all right, for you. You can interview him, and then I got to run. I got to get him set up because I'm going to try and do it at 6.
Okay, all right. I mean, Xander, he's limited, right?
He's limited. Does he have a huge upside, though?
I like we did last year with Kevin Patullo. I don't know on January 29th.
I like it. I'm happy with the hire. I like it. He's not a bum, impulsive. Bullshit.
Isn't it Kevin Patullo 2.0?
No, it's not Kevin Patullo 2.0. When did Kevin Patullo ever play NFL quarterback?
Okay. So playing the position is one of the things that you like.
Is the only way to be a good OC?
I'm not ripping anything here. I'm just asking questions here.
Is the only way to be a good OC deemed if you have play calling past?
No, at least you've had jobs working your way up, like wide receiver.
What about like Ben Johnson? He didn't call plays he had to have a first year.
Ben Johnson's got a hell of a resume from where he came from.
You got to start somewhere.
Your second job is the offensive coordinator. All right. Hey, like I said, I'm just asking questions here. Ben Johnson. Let me see how Ben Johnson. I'm going to see his resume, how he came up. You may be right. Miami Dolphins from 12 to 18, offensive assistant, tight ends coach, assistant wide receiver coach, then wide receiver coach. Lions. He became the tight ends coach, pass game coordinator, and offensive coordinator from 22 to 24. And now he's the current head coach. So he went from 2012 to 2025. That took him 13 years.
All right, bro. Let me run. I don't think John can come. He's got to answer some shit from them, and then I'll talk to him at 6. So we'll be live at 6 on the channel.
Okay. Right, I'm gonna take time out here, and we're gonna pay some bills, and then we'll come back. Okay.
All right. Sounds good.
All right, man. Hey, folks, we appreciate you very much here, and we'll give you Xander, we'll give you our takeaway here in a second here. So do me a favor, guys. Don't forget our friends at Morgan & Morgan, the #1 injury law firm in all of America for a reason, with over $26 billion recovered. We appreciate each and every single one of you guys that are with us here with Morgan & Morgan that have gone there and checked out the website. They win. Go to forthepeople.com/big sales or pound law 529. That's forthepeople.com/big sales or pound law 529. And do me a favor. You tell them Big Sales sent you.
There's a reason Detective Johnson is the gossip king.
Oh, did you hear? Jackie and Tom
are getting a divorce? Mm-hmm. Sad.
Well, I heard that Ashley
had work done on her face? Yeah, oof.
Just like there's a reason Morgan & Morgan is America's largest injury law firm. Injured? With over $25 billion recovered for our clients, there's a reason to go big.
Bathroom? Okay.
Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm.
Oh, okay.
Ignite your nights with free live entertainment daily, only at Live Casino and Hotel Philadelphia's Center Bar. 7 days a week, enjoy some of the region's top party bands, performers, and DJs as they take the stage in the heart of the casino action. Great cocktails, live music, and lively moments. It's all happening at Center Bar at Live Casino and Hotel Philadelphia. Visit livecasinophilly.com for more details and the complete list of upcoming events. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
This is Eric. When he got injured in a car accident, he called Morgan & Morgan. He not only gets a lawyer, he gets trial lawyers like Sam and Jessica who are in it to win it. He gets his own investigators with briefcases, leather ones. And if you ever have questions, our customer service folks keep things rolling. Injured? We're your army. Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm.
Welcome to the Jet Setters and the High Rollers, to the Shot Takers and the Tastemakers. Welcome to the Viewfinders, the Thrill Seekers, and the Night Owls. Welcome to everything you could possibly want on one 5-mile island. Welcome to the Wildwoods. Book your stay today.
In our hometown, we all look out for each other. We go the extra mile to lend a helping hand. We step up to keep our communities going strong. And at Independence Blue Cross, we're here to keep you going strong. We've been deeply rooted in our communities for more than 85 years. And that connection to members has earned us our spot as the #1 health insurer in the region. So while you look out for your neighbors, know IBX is always looking out for you.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on Sports Grid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on Sports Grid.
EAGLES. Eagles.
All right, folks, brand new hire for the Philadelphia Eagles. And it is Sean Mannion, and he is the new offensive coordinator coming over from Green Bay. And he is an inexperienced play caller. Now, again, on January 29th, I'm not going to sit here and tell you it's a bad hire. I don't know. The only thing we're going to say again is, how has that, with the unexperienced coordinator, how has that worked out in the Nick Sirianni era? How has it worked out? Shane Steichen worked out. The other ones, again, haven't. 5-7 or 7-9 wins. But here, again, I don't know. But really what they've done here is, and to Xander's point, he's a former player. Okay, sees the game. Frank Wright was a former player. Doug Peterson's a former player. Do I think that gives him a little bit more of a sense of like the position and understanding the position? I do. But here, again, I'll say, what in the world does Sean Mannion know more than Jalen Hurts? I like to have experience around experience because that elevates. Tom Brady never had an inexperienced play caller around him in his entire time that he was the quarterback in New England. Or he had Bruce Arians around him. I'm not a fan of inexperienced play callers. I've never done it before. You know, when we're talking, how are you supposed to get your start? Well, this isn't a football team that you're on the job training. Scale of KP play calling to Hurts arm. How effed are we? Well, listen, no. I'm just pointing things out on what I've seen before when you hire coaches like this. I mean, yeah. You're back in the building of hiring inexperience. Now, you're going to give them the benefit of the doubt. Some folks will say, I love to hire. Based on what? Your opinion? Okay, fair enough. Nothing on fact. I'm about to cry, Sills. What the F? Please calm me down now. Well, you're back in the room you were on February 19th of a year ago. Whatever you want to, hey, however you want to play this out. Like I said to you, I was right on Kevin Patullo not being your guy. And the reasons were because he had no experience. Nick is taking over the play calling. 5-7 or 7-9 wins. I'm not there yet. Okay? Xander likes to hire. See? That's fine. Again, for me, personally, I like people that have been in the building before and have all the shit we talked about with Kevin Patullo. Kevin Patullo, let me ask you this. Kevin Patullo was in the building for 5 years before he got the job. And he couldn't get the shit done. You're bringing a guy in who's been a coordinator, or excuse me, has not been a coordinator, has been a quarterback coach, and he was 2 years or 3 years removed from playing on the playing field. And so even less experienced than Kevin Patullo. Okay. And listen, can this work out? Former coaching, remember, how long was Andy Reid, the quarterback coach in Green Bay? I think he was there for 10 years before he got the opportunity. Let me see Andy Reid when he was the QB coach for Mike Holmgren. So let me go here. Again, right now, on January 29th, I'm Switzerland. I don't know. Well, how could you know if he's good when he's never done it? You're assuming it. Okay? And you're again giving the benefit of the doubt. So let's see. How long was Andy Reid the quarterback coach in Green Bay? From 2 years, he was the quarterback coach. He was there with Mike Holmgren for 2 years, 97 and 98. And he was never the offensive play caller. Okay? Great reset, 27 by Nick and Jalen. Once again, we'll see. Guys, I appreciate you. Please hit the like button. This is more about control. Manning has no cachet just as yet as a play caller. This is a hire. Is this hire better for Jalen or Nick? My gut feeling, yeah, it's a Nick hire. It's not a Jalen Hurts hire. This is a Nick Sirianni hire. This is, again, like I said, they don't hire coordinators for Jalen. Because if you hired a coordinator for Jalen, you would have hired an experienced guy, not a guy who knows less than him and has had less success than him. I mean, who has he worked with? Okay, he's worked with Jordan Love. Fair enough. What the fuck? We are already trying to justify a stupid hire. Well, good. Then goodbye, Nick, and him next year. Sucks we had to waste a year to fire Nick. No, I wouldn't. I'm not going there. I'm not there. Played under McVay and Kevin O'Connell, Kevin Stefanski, and Clint Kubiak, who were all on that coaching staff when he was with the Rams. Yeah. Sounds like he saw a lot as a player when he was in Los Angeles. Okay? I mean, wait a minute. Xander says we're wrong. Wrong on what? Nobody's wrong on any. I mean, y'all wrong. I'm saying this. I don't know how anybody could have an opinion on somebody who's never done anything. Sell this dog shit franchise. No. You guys, listen, I'm not telling you it's a bad hire. I'm just telling you you're in the same position you were a year ago. That's all I'm saying. Hey, and by the way, I'm not giving the benefit of the doubt to the franchise because the last two inexperienced hires have bombed. And I don't really think Brent, or how about this? Their eyes, they bombed. Yeah, it's a crapshoot. Yeah, it's what it is. But then again, any hire with these kind of high-profile jobs, I'm not going to sit there and tell you that on January 29th, you hire a guy that's never done shit before. It's a good hire. I'll leave that to other folks. I'm over the Nick experiment. Nick experiment's 50-18. They hired a guy to go along. They didn't hire a guy to come in and add. Now, he's probably going to have fresh thoughts coming in, I would think. And by the way, so here's another thing. Xander posted and said that, so here. Where is it here? Let me go here. Xander said that he played under McVay, Kevin O'Connell, Kevin Stefanski, and Clint Kubiak. Not one of those coaches have ever, in any time, ever coached a dual threat quarterback. Not one. So let's see here. It's setting Nick up. He's done. I wouldn't go there. And I'm not. Kellen Moore had 4 weeks, then scrapped his offense. Okay? Limited as coach, but quarterback 8 years in the NFL and was coached as quarterback by McVay, O'Connell, and other great play-calling coaches. Yeah, with all a different style than the quarterback he's coming in to coach now, correct? Yeah, you gotta tell the story. You just can't start barking. Well, I think it's a great hire. With what's the context? Okay, so he played for McVay. McVay is a pocket. He's a pocket play caller. O'Connell, a pocket play caller. Every one of those guys never coached. What dual threat guy have they coached? Okay. Our last OC that was a player led us to a Super Bowl. Yeah, not throwing the ball, running the ball. This is a guy for Hurts and quarterback in-game adjustments. Okay, we'll see how those go. Can't wait to see it. Could be a star, no idea. Correct. But like that, he's another rookie OC that's never called plays. Remember something. You're going to land there until he starts calling them in-game. Remember something last year. Every single one of you told me you were going to have a seamless transition from Kevin Patullo and that he was going to be a great fit for Jalen. Well, that didn't turn out. Now, I'm not saying this won't. I have no idea. I think that's the point, Sills. They don't want him to be a dual threat anymore. Or he doesn't. One of the two. Okay. I don't know. Limited as coach. No, we've done that. So this is a Nick or a Howie hire. This might, I don't know. You're hiring another guy who's never been a coordinator. I'm assuming it's Nick. I guess. I mean, Seal says AJ. Why would AJ stay with a guy who's never called plays? Would he? Maybe he does. Maybe he does. I don't know. So now you're going to go back to what? What are you going to be working on? You bringing what stuff? What playbook are you? What playbook is Sean Mannion bringing? He doesn't even have a playbook. What style of offense is he playing with? Jordan Love's? Or what? Are they building one around for Jalen? That could be. Like, what's going to be his style of play? Or is he going to be building one here for Hurts? Is that what it is? I'm asking. I don't know. Sales, Hurts has always been better in run-first offenses anyway. This isn't a surprise. Okay. Sounds right. So you hired a guy that will work with Nick and with Kevin Patullo. Because Kevin Patullo is still in the building and says that he looks forward to working with the next coordinator on what we built here. So they're going to do a little more of what they did a year ago with some twist, I'm assuming. Okay. If Jalen's not going to run as much, this might be a good fit. Absolutely. Absolutely. So this guy got to have some balls to come to fit. Yeah, I like that in him. I do. Shanahan McVay, why don't you get it? Because not one of those coaches right there has ever coached a dual threat quarterback. What don't you get? And when Shanahan tried, he failed. Sills, they brought someone from Green Bay to utilize the run game and tight end more. That, I love that take. Notice how the Packers don't have a true wide receiver one in their offense, but the run game and tight end are top tier. Eagles are drafting a tight end. That's a great take, David, and I'd like that. That means AJ's gone probably. I think this probably is a great sign for Stoutland. You're not gonna, if you're the new OC, you're not demanding anything. You're working with. Manning is taking a 50-50 shot. He either gets fired next year or gets interviewed. I actually like that. I do. I actually dig that. He was drafted by McVay and was there for 4 years. Yeah, he's a drop back guy. He's not a dual. He wasn't a dual threat quarterback. Damn, Sills. So he could be the news. What could be the news next week? I don't know. Now, that's assuming there is. Do you all think the Patriots will trade the 31 or 32nd pick for AJ? You're not getting a first rounder for him. Are you out of your mind? Sills, we can say one thing. He's at least not a Nick guy. Okay? Listen, I'm Switzerland. How can I have an opinion on a guy who's never done shit? I mean, you want me to give you a pipe dream thing? Sure, okay. Hey, I'm hoping it works out for him. Absolutely. But to sit there and look at a guy's resume, it's 2 years old. I'm not sure what to tell you. And remember I said this on January 29th. This guy's got a 2-year resume. And sit there and dissect a 2-year resume? That's not me. That's other folks. So is Stoutland still being fired? I never said Jeff Stoutland was being fired. Jeff McClain reported that he had it taken away. Does this feel like Andy Reid when he first took okay. Well, Andy Reid was hired as the head football coach, not the offensive coordinator. But I see the similarities because he was Steve Mariucci was a quarterback coach up there. Andy Reid was a quarterback coach, and I think Joe Philbin was a quarterback coach, and all those coaches went on to become head football coaches. I do dig this about the hire here. The kid is taking a shot. He could have stayed in a comfort zone in Green Bay with Matt LaFleur. Now, Matt LaFleur is on shaky ground for whatever reason. This OC is going to fail. How do you know that? How do you know that? I don't know that. I'm not. Hey, by the way, if you're taking me asking questions about somebody as me saying it's going to fail, that's ridiculous. How would I know? So is any news on Clint Hurt? Not yet. All right. I know that John and Xander are going to be doing some stuff here, so I know that they're going to get those guys' opinions on this thing. We appreciate you. Joe, thank you very much. Xander, we appreciate it. 2 to 6 tomorrow, and we will see you on the flip side.